Check. I have volume. Now you can hear? Okay, thank you.
Test, test, test. Hello. Yeah, if you want to. Debbie. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the June 5th meeting of Queens Community Board 2. Happy Pride, Eid Mubarak, Happy Father's Day. Let's get started with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We got a packed agenda, a packed house. Thank you in advance for all the passion. We can be passionate but polite if possible, and we'll have a smooth time of it all. We'll start right with the agenda. With comments from elected officials. State Assembly Member Claire Valdez, are you online?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Hey, yep.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be there with you all this evening in person. My name is Claire Valdez. I'm the State Assembly member representing at least part of the LIC parcel that's being considered for rezoning. Greetings from Albany. I really just wanted to get on really briefly to share that as this process is continuing, I was able to attend the town hall from a couple of weeks ago. Thank you very much to CB1 and CB2 for organizing that. Special thanks to Councilmember Wan's office and her team for working so hard throughout this entire process. In that meeting, I heard a lot of the same concerns that I share. We need to balance the need for deeply and permanently affordable housing that can sustain our neighborhood while also balancing the need for more green space, infrastructure that can support 14,000 more homes, school seats, a thriving cultural center, artist studios and spaces, so many other things. And I know that people are approaching this rezoning process with trepidation, and I wanted to say that I share those concerns, and that the benefits that our neighborhoods receive from this process be ironclad, be really thoughtfully considered, and that this is a long and difficult process. Grateful to the community board and to Councilmember Wan's office for shepherding us through this. I'm looking forward to hearing more thoughts tonight. And as this process continues, my office is a resource. If you have more thoughts or feedback, I'm happy to share those with my colleagues who are shepherding this process through. So I'll keep it brief, but I wanted to say I appreciate everyone for engaging this process thoughtfully, with compassion. And I know that we all want a Long Island city that is livable and sustainable for as many people and as many working class folks as possible. Grateful for you for being here.
Any questions for the Assembly member? Great. Thank you, Assembly Member Valdez. Appreciate it. Moving right along, Tiffany Echeverria from Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez's office.
All right, good evening, CB2. I know we have a very, very long night tonight, so I'm going to try to keep my talking points short, even though there's a lot going on in Congress. So the Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez recently co-sponsored yesterday Resolution 473, which calls for the urgent delivery and disbursement of humanitarian aid to address the needs of the civilians in Gaza. This was introduced into the House Foreign Affairs Committee yesterday, so we'll be closely monitoring this to see if it ends up on the House floor. On June 4th, the Congresswoman also is the ranking member of the Small Business Committee. She spoke on the challenges that small businesses would face due to Trump's tariffs, and she quote unquote stated, 58% of the economy has gotten worse since January, 66% of tariffs are hurting them, and nearly 60% cite uncertainty as their top challenges. As the budget right now is in the Senate, we do not have clear thoughts as to what will be the final budget, but that's something that I will definitely update you guys on in our next meeting back in the fall. The Congresswoman is submitting a policy for the surface transportation reauthorization, which calls for federal action to require secure containment and responsible transport of materials like rail construction debris, sewage sludge, incinerator ash, and coal waste when moved by rail transfers. Now back to some community stuff. So here in Sunnyside Community Services on June 16th, 6:30 to 8:30, we are having a flood solutions fair. We know that South Queens and Western Queens is a very dense area that has a lot of flooding, so we're going to have tabling in the back, some panelists in the front. Please come out. If there's anything that you do today, please just RSVP with the QR code right here. She also hosted a women's health awareness webinar last week. We talked about breast cancer, colon cancer, cervical cancer, as well as maternal health and fibroids. Thank you. This is a very important topic for women's health. Women do not know that they need to get screened for all of these health benefits that they do not even know that they have. We do have this recording, and I'll be sending it out to the board for further distribution. And lastly, I did mention this last time, our office is with the Congressional App Challenge. This is for middle school and high schoolers that either live in the Congresswoman's district or they go to school in the Congresswoman's districts. You will basically have the chance to have any student that has an app that they want to submit, they will have a national congressional recognition. Yeah, so everything is over there. I'll be over there with my cards and flyers. Please do not feel shy. I'm right here and we could talk a little bit more about what's going on in federal Congress. All right, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tiffany. Moving right along. Catherine from State Senator Gonzalez's office. There you are.
All right. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm here on behalf of New York State Senator Kristen Gonzalez, who represents this area, as well as Greenpoint, the east side of Manhattan. I will be quick. Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak to everyone who celebrates. On behalf of Senator Gonzalez's office, I want to share a few updates. The first is that the state budget passed in early May, and Senator Gonzalez was proud to support a few big wins for affordability in the state, $1.3 billion for affordable housing, including $50 million for the Housing Access Voucher Plan, $80 million from Mitchell Lama, $340 million towards universal school meals, fully funding the $68 billion MTA 2025-2029 capital plan, $400 million in increased funding for NYC's Child Care Assistance Program, locally, $350K for the CUNY Law Burns Chair, as well as $2.1 million for community-based orgs. We also established a $2 million pilot program to help low-income homeowners and tenants afford energy efficiency and weatherization upgrades. Addition to that, last week, we were able to pass the Secure Our Data Act to help protect New Yorkers' personal data held by government agencies from cybersecurity threats. We also, this week, were able to pass our tax on noise from non-essential helicopters and non-essential seaplanes through the Senate, as well as a bill to update primary dates in 2026 to avoid conflicts with Passover. That passed both the Senate and Assembly, is on its way to the governor's desk. A couple of things for our district office. So cooling centers, our district office will be a cooling center this summer. It will be available Tuesday through Thursday from 10 to 3 p.m. And for other neighborhood cooling centers, please call 311 on any day that the New York City emergency management declares a heat advisory. Additionally, upcoming events. So on June 16th, we'll be joining Congresswoman Velasquez and other offices and community groups for this Flooding Solutions Fair right here. So excited for that. Additionally, on Saturday, 6/14, we'll be joining the Irish Center and Culture Lab for the Queens Irish Heritage Festival. On June 21st, we'll be joining Western Queens Electeds and 31st Avenue Open Streets to celebrate the redesign of 31st Avenue and share more information about our Western Queens Street Safety Plan. And then finally, on June 29th, we'll be joining Councilmember Wan's office for an e-waste recycling event at Culture Lab. So thank you again.
No questions, awesome. Next is, do we have someone from Assemblymember Raga's office? Steve Raga? Yep. Hi.
Oh, that's not the next at all.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Hernandez. I'm the legislative analyst for Assemblymember Stephen Raga. I'll try and keep it brief. Thank you all for your time. Firstly, AM Raga is continuing to advocate for the Freedom of Information Law bill for greater government transparency. It passed the Senate and we're pushing for it to pass the Assembly this year. Another bill which has passed the Codes Committee this week is focused on LGBTQ plus police sensitivity training. This bill would require training developed in consultation with both law enforcement and LGBTQ plus community members to better support them respectfully and informedly. Next, we're also pushing for a financial aid transparency bill, which will ensure that college award letters include net price, making it easier for students and families to understand the true cost of education with loans and grants and such. Finally, the member is also presenting his automated curb enforcement bill to the Transportation Committee this week. Next, some quick legislative wins. We've secured $110 million for Mitchell Lama housing capital improvements with $30 million specifically to New York City. We've helped secure universal school meals for children across New York State. And we've also co-sponsored Bill 6955 to strengthen regulations on lithium-ion battery storage facilities. Now, I just want to remind that we have monthly mobile office hours in Maspeth, Elmhurst, Woodside, and Jackson Heights. Just to run through the ones that we have this month. In June, in Elmhurst on the 17th, we'll have hours from at Elmhurst Park. In Jackson Heights on the 11th, from 3 to 5 at Travers Park. Maspeth we had yesterday at Memorial Park. And then Woodside we'll have on the 25th from 3 to 5 at Doughboy Park. And then in July, we'll have it at Elmhurst on the 23rd in at 82nd and Roosevelt. And then Maspeth on the 9th at Frank Principe Park. So thank you again for listening. And then I will be in the back if anyone wants to speak one-on-one.
Come out. Like, let me move. Let me go up. Like, you're serious. Like, just go. Like,
Next is Farah from Councilmember Julie Wong's office.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week so far. First things first, tomorrow's Eid, so early Eid Mubarak to everyone who celebrates. On June 14th, we'll be hosting our bike helmet fitting and giveaway at Lulu Dottie Park from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Helmets will be provided while supplies last, and adults must sign a waiver for the helmet. So if your child would like a helmet, you will have to be there present to sign for that helmet. We are taking registrations for the helmets just to make sure that we have enough. And so please connect with our team for more information. On the 8th, we're hosting another event from 11 to 3 p.m. We'll be co-hosting an e-waste recycling event with Senator Gonzalez at Culture Lab. On June 17th and 24th, we'll be hosting our housing legal clinics with Community Resist. So we have appointments from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We are having them in 45-minute increments, so that way if anybody needs an appointment, we can try to get you in. And then our office continues to provide support for community members impacted by the federal policies at the federal level. So we will have a legal immigration clinic tomorrow, June 6th, from 10 in the morning till about 5 in the afternoon. The clinic is in English and Spanish. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Next, Claire from Queensborough President John Richard's office.
Hey guys, happy Pride Month, yeah. I'm Claire from the office of Queensborough President Donovan Richards. The Borough President marched at Queen's Pride on the 1st, and we're also having our Pride Month flag raising ceremony at Borough Hall on June 11th. June 11th at 6 p.m. we're having our Pride Month celebration, at Queensborough Hall. Now, the One LIC neighborhood plan. There was a hearing, the joint one, but then Borough Hall is also having their own hearing. Hold on. I have flyers, but I only printed 10 of them, so maybe take a picture of it. Yeah, it's gonna be on the 26th, 9:30 a.m. at Borough Hall. And it was on our Facebook. Thank you, Debbie. Also, I know a lot of you guys like to do this stuff online. So if you want to testify online, you have to RSVP. The link for that isn't live yet, but they said next week it'll be live. So just look out for that. It'll be on our website, queensbp.nyc.gov. And then there's also going to be a presentation by the Department of City Planning, and then members of the public can testify. If you need any ADA services, sign language interpretation, language translation, just let me know, or you can reach out to our land use director, Vicky Garvey. But I have business cards, so just let me know. Yeah, thank you. That's all I have. Questions? Yes?
Danielle?
For people who might have to work on the day of the hearing at that time, can you submit written testimony and will there be a link for that?
You know, it's a testimony, right? So you kind of have to like talk. So I don't think we have written testimony for the land use hearings. But I can get back to you on that, but I'm pretty sure it's like either you're Zooming or you're in person. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. A lot of people waiting to, yeah?
Hello, there we go. Sheila here, how are you doing, Claire? Just to follow up on that, I know that with many hearings, including the budget hearing for the borough president, they do allow like 48 hours of, for submitted testimony, so just.
I'll follow up
hoping-
about that. I didn't hear anything about that, but I'll follow up offline about that.
Great.
I think we should move on just because there's so many people here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Next, we have someone from District Attorney Melinda Katz's office. Hey, oh yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Narissa Martinez, and I am a community coordinator at the Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz's office. I have some community updates for you all, but I will be sure to keep them brief. Starting off on behalf of Melinda Katz, happy Pride Month, also Eid Mubarak to everyone who celebrates. First off, on June 2nd, Andrew Hatziagelis was sentenced to 10 years in prison, and his brother Angelo was sentenced to 4 years for possessing explosive devices, assault weapons, 3D printed ghost gun pistols, and ammunition in an Astoria apartment. Instructions for making a variety of bombs and anarchist propaganda were also found during a court-authorized search of the residence in January 2024. On January 17th, 2024, members of the Queens District Attorney's Office, the NYPD, Homeland Security, and the State Police executed a search warrant at the brothers' residence on 36th Avenue in Astoria, resulting in their arrests and the seizure of operational improvised explosive devices, also known as IEDs, a partially constructed tripwire IED, 2 loaded AR-15 ghost guns, a 9mm ghost gun pistols, 9mm 3D printed ghost gun pistols, and over 600 rounds of ammunition for firearms. It also included 9 pyrotechnic smoke bombs, a 3D printer, and numerous notebooks containing instructions on the manufacture of these explosive devices. With quote-unquote cops, judges, politicians, and celebrities, and banker scum scrawled on it was also found. Upon execution of the search warrant at the apartment complex, members of the NYPD bomb squad were called to respond and subsequently evacuated the building due to the discovery of the live IEDs. Moving forward too, we did want to advise you all that DA Katz recently joined Governor Kathy Hochul when she announced an agreement with state legislative leaders to make essential changes to existing discovery laws. The 2019 changes to discovery, the requirement that prosecutors share evidence with defense attorneys in a timely manner, were the right thing to do. But there have been unintended consequences. Cases have been taking longer, dismissals have increased, and victims are being harmed. All of the city's district attorneys presented our state leaders with a trove of data that showed our discovery laws needed to be updated, and fortunately enough, they listened. The changes to the discovery statute will help preserve the rights of the accused, improve public safety, and protect victims. Lastly, I have a few flyers sitting up front here, but I'm more than happy to hand them off to you if you approach me at any point tonight. But we have a gun buyback program, so that's going to be held on Saturday, June 14th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be at the Greater Allen AME Cathedral in Jamaica, New York. So yeah, that's basically all I have for you all tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Andrea Thomas from Sunnyside Community Services.
Good evening. Packed agenda, and I only have one agenda item. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Thomas. I'm the Associate Executive Director here at Sunnyside Community Services. Just want to quickly overview, we do have an English class starting for the summer session for those who needs to enhance their English proficiency. It's a free English class here at Sunnyside Community Services that starts July 1st through August the 28th. I'll leave the information at the back with a scan code so you'll be able to pull the application. Thank you.
Mercedes Jennings from State Senator Michael Gennara's office. My bad. Please take your time.
No worries. Thank you so much. I do apologize. I had a death in the family, so I wasn't able to make it in person, but I want to give a quick report to everyone. I just wanted to let everyone know, just a quick update. Senator Gianaris was marching on June 1st at Pride and showing his, of course, his support to the community. Also, another win from the state budget that I mentioned at the last meeting. Please do expect direct checks starting in mid-October from the inflation refund program. It is the first that New York State has ever been able to pass to give direct checks to taxpayers. If you filed individually, payments are $100 to $200. If you file jointly, it's $300 to $400. So do expect that in mid-October. In addition to that, our office did a DMV event on Saturday, May 3rd. It was extremely successful. Out of the 85 people that came in Astoria, 83 received their real IDs on the spot at the Steinway Library on Ditmars Boulevard. We are working to do another one for Woodside Houses and one for Sunnyside, as well as Maspeth. So we will keep CB2 informed. Lastly, just a quick update. Our office location will be changing over the summer. So at the next meeting in September, I will make sure to give everyone the new address. Is there any questions?
Mercedes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
My condolences, all of our condolences.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And last but not least, community partner Chaya. Matthew.
Good evening, CB2 and members of the community. Eid Mubarak to everyone. My name is Matthew Suknanan, and I'm the base campaign organizer at Chaya CDC, here to share an important update on basement apartments and a new city program that legalizes basement conversions for homeowners. Community District 2 is the only Queens district in this pilot, and we have a real opportunity to lead the city in this initiative. At Chaya, we're working with homeowners to convert basement units into safe, legal, homes, helping families stay rooted and protected while addressing our city's housing crisis. To keep our community safe and informed, we're hosting a town hall right here in this room on June 17th at 6:30 p.m. And we'll also be at the Flood Solutions Fair hosted by Congresswoman Velasquez's office, which is also right here in this room on June 16th. We'll talk about how to move forward, flood safety, and how we can organize together to ensure that this isn't a limited thing and that people get access to this citywide. We'll be sharing resources and to lead the way in this process. Whether you're a homeowner, a tenant, a neighbor, or you just generally just care about the housing process and the housing crisis that's going on, everyone is welcome to get involved and get organized. I'll be here in the back if you want to reach out. And yeah, thank you so much and all the work that you do to strengthen our communities. Have a great night.
And that's everyone for elected officials. Is to comment not on one LIC, a general public comment. You can have 2 minutes, everybody else gets 1. If you don't have to talk about one LIC. All right, so we have 93 people signed up. We have to get out of here by 10:15. 93 people, 93 minutes, plus whoever else signed up in person. And if you signed up like Memo, you signed up online, so you don't have to sign up again. is there a hand up? Yeah, sorry, we're not quite at comment yet, but we will get there. So yeah, we must keep it to 1 minute each, same as the town hall. I see a lot of you from the town hall, so priority will be given to people who haven't gone yet. So on the list when you signed up, John, you're first on the list, but not yet. If I recognized your name from the town hall, I bumped you down and bumped up new people as best as I could. Please remember, no clapping, no cheering, as best as you can, because that's going to cut into people's time. We have less time here than at LaGuardia Community College, so please keep that in mind. If you didn't sign up before, you got the green sheets over there, so you still can sign up. I'll leave about 30 minutes for people to sign up in person. As I said before, we're going to line up that way if you are able, and you're going to come up here and speak, and you're going to leave that way. If you have mobility issues, the mic will come to you, so just ask for it. As our rep from the Queensborough President's Office, not your only opportunity to speak. June 26th is the hearing at Queensborough President's Office. It's hybrid and on Zoom. And you know I'm not letting you start without at least one round of box breathing. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold for 4 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Good enough. That silence is great. All right, let's get into it. John Suarez, you're on Zoom. You have 1 minute, starting in 3, 2, 1. All right. Actually, sorry. We'll call up 10 names at a time. Forgot about that from last time. John Suarez, Peter Birmingham, Pat Dorfman, David Dreimer, Natalia Guzman Solano, Alex Bruno, Janatul Ahmed, Eddie McWilliams, James Kim, and Pamela Herrera. John Suarez, we'll come back to you. Oh, you're there? Okay, great. You have 1 minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Councilmember. I actually didn't have anything to say about One LIC. That's why I raised my hand, because I did want to get my 2 minutes, if that's still possible, for a non. Okay, great, thank you. I just want to bring up an issue that we've been having in the Hunters Point South area. It's around the Greenway at the Hunters Point South Park. I sent an email this morning to the New York City Parks Department, sent one to the Hunters Point South Park Conservancy, and one to Julie Wan's office as well. I don't know if, would you allow me to share my screen briefly so I can show a video of the issue that...
we don't have time for a video, sorry.
Gotcha, okay. So basically, we're having drivers who have been parking on the bike lane and the sidewalk on the Greenway. It's creating an issue where it's forcing cyclists, it's forcing people walking their dogs, people with strollers, people in wheelchairs, into the street in order to avoid the cars, trucks, and SUVs that are parking on the Greenway. And it's just creating a very dangerous situation. Yesterday, I had a confrontation with someone who wanted to park on the Greenway. I was blocking the pedestrian accessibility ramp with my bicycle to prevent them from doing so. They called the police, and 2 officers from the 108th precinct came to address the issue. And rather than tell the motorists that they shouldn't be parking on the Greenway, they told me to move aside so that the motorists could park on the Greenway and take their pictures. To be completely honest, I don't expect very much from the 108th, but that was even less than what I expected. So I really don't know where else to go with this. I'm making the recommendation that bollards be installed at all the pedestrian walkways along Center Boulevard, from 51st Avenue to 57th Avenue. And I'm hoping that I can have the the community boards, that the community board could have my back on this, because I would really like to see something done before someone gets hurt, rather than us wait until someone gets seriously injured or worse in the area, and then we go and do something about it. All that we need to do is install bollards at the pedestrian walkways from 51st Avenue down to 57th Avenue, just like the ones that are installed at 50th Avenue and Center Boulevard. Thank you all
Thank
for
you,
your time.
John. Thank you, John. That's time, but that's a great suggestion. And please also come to our transportation committee meeting. Well, the next one is in September, so feel free to write us a letter, send an email. Yep. All right. One LIC for real this time. Peter Birmingham, Pat Dorfman, David Dreimer, Natalia Guzman Solano, Alex Bruno, Janatul Ahmed, Eddie McWilliams, James Kim, Pamela Herrera, and Moniel Javeris. So we have Peter Birmingham. Yeah, and if you could start lining up as well. Okay. Peter Birmingham, we'll come back to you. Pat Dorfman, where are you? Do you want the mic to come to you? All right. All right. Hey, you got 1 minute, starting in 3, 2, go for it.
This is likely to pass. Once revenue money is made, we will pay for the infrastructure, transit, schools, green space, power, climate change mitigation, sewers, hospital. Why don't we just ask for that now and not tie it to a big real estate bonanza that removes our paradise? We actually live in paradise right now. Supply and demand doesn't work here. The more luxury housing we have, the less affordable everything gets, and we will lose every single small business, as we have seen at every meta development for the past 25 years. Please don't yet let ULURP, for us to be able to express ourselves, be this kind of boring mesmerizing of community boards. Community boards, even if this passes, please say no. It's a vote of protest. Thank you.
You, Pat. David Dreimer. We'll come back to you. Natalia Guzman Solano.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to talk about some data tonight. According to the 2023 New York City Housing and Vacancy Survey, there were 33,210 vacant apartments in New York City, but 2/3 of these could only be afforded by households making over $75,000 annually. 2/3. US Census Bureau data from 2024 also show that there are over 4,000 vacant apartments in Long Island City. One LIC plans to add 10,000 market rate luxury apartments with a median price for a 2-bedroom at $5,300. A household would need to make over $200,000, $200K annually to afford this apartment. Given these facts, we need to be asking, why are we prioritizing market rate housing when the actual crisis we're facing in Queens is an affordability crisis? There is no housing crisis in LIC. Please vote no on the One LIC plan because it doesn't provide the affordability the majority of our local communities need. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex Bruno. And also credit to the person who did the spirit fingers. Let's try to keep that going. That's a great example to follow. Alex Bruno. We'll come back to you. Janatul Ahmed. We'll come back to you. Eddie McWilliams. We'll come back to you. James Kim.
Hi, everyone. All right, so I'll try to be brief. My name is James, and I'm a resident of Astoria. I'd like to speak in opposition of the One LIC neighborhood plan. This plan seeks to address a housing problem that does not exist, all while worsening what is in fact a real housing problem. The real problem in Queens is a lack of affordable housing, not a lack of market rate, unaffordable new construction. I don't know anyone in Long Island City or Astoria who believes that we need more $3,500 one-bedrooms and more $5,000 two-bedroom units, or that they love paying half or more of their income just for housing. The people that I know love living here and want to continue to live here and raise families here without being bled dry. This plan promises to approximately 14,700 homes, with 4,300 of those marked as affordable homes. Not that they'll actually be affordable, but taken at face value, we are basically being promised 4,300 affordable homes and over 10,000 unaffordable ones. Those numbers are completely wrong. We need 14,000 affordable homes. No, we need more than that, and we need 0 unaffordable ones. Time's up.
Right on time. Thank you. Pamela Herrera. A minute starting in 3, 2.
Good evening, Chairman Anatole and members of the Community Board 2. My name is Pamela Herrera, and I work for the Community Land Trust as a Land Justice Coordinator. The Western Queens CLT is not against development. We are for equitable development. What we need is deep affordability, truly community-led planning, and protections for permanent, deep, affordable housing. We need public investment in services and infrastructure, not luxury towers none of us can access. This development will constrain the working class further, displacing them from the roots they have set here. As a community org, we are here to support the marginalized communities the city continues to neglect. We are working closely with businesses, community members, and I'm here to urge Community Board 2 to vote no on the rezoning unless there is a prioritization of longstanding community-led plans for the public sites and a commitment to keeping all public sites out of private hands. A legally binding mechanism that funds deeply affordable housing far beyond the minimum required by law. A resilient waterfront public park connecting Queensbridge with Animal Basin. Specific funding for upgrading current infrastructure in schools, sewage lines, and transportation proportional to the anticipated increase in population. Concrete financial investment in nearby NYCHA housing.
Thank you,
the
Pamela.
removal of unlimited height.
Thank you. Thank you. Monil Javeri. Are you
Hi.
around?
Hey.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Oh,
Hello?
you are? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Minute
Hi.
starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Mo Javeri. I live in Woodside, Queens. I've lived here for the last 3 years. I believe we should definitely do one LIC. It actually should be bigger. For every 100 units of market rate housing you build, 70 families are able to move into the area. So all housing is affordable. Ends up being affordable housing. I currently live in Woodside. I'm able to live in Woodside because LIC soaks up all the high income people, and Woodside the rent has not increased as much as it has everywhere else. By building more units, more of the areas like Woodside and Sunnyside will be able to stay affordable. And I think that if we build as many units as possible, we can keep the rents down in the community, and it'll allow more people to live in the area. And this will also fund infrastructure upgrades that everybody wants. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Going back, Peter Birmingham, going twice. No. David Dreimer, going twice. Whoop. I'm out of time. And that's it from this batch. Okay. We're going to take a short break to take attendance while we're all here, get that out of the way, and we'll go back to public comment.
Can you all hear me? Perfect. This is actually the earliest we've taken an attendance since I've been on the board, ironically. All right, everyone, I need to take attendance of the board members. If you can just let me do that for 1 second. Not literally 1 second, just a minute or two, and then we'll be back to all the testimony. Thank you. All right, Amparo Abelbay. Nellie Afshar.
Present.
Anatol Ashraf. John. Absent. Aronowski.
Present. Online.
All right, thank you. Carisha Batan. Nick Berkowitz.
Present online.
Thanks. Danielle Brown. Carlos Castelcroak. Evelyn Chango. Lisa Charles. Tanya Chavez, excused. Osman Chowdhury, excused. Steve Cooper. Warren Davis. Lisa Deller. Maury Gallinoy. Absent. Dr. Raz Janutzos. Alexandra Gonzalez.
Present online.
Thanks. Folks, if you could please just quiet down for a minute. We can't hear folks who are online. We're trying to take attendance. Thank you. Camille Gray. Kenny Greenberg. Corey Hannigan. Mohammed Hossein. On the way. We'll come back to him. All right. Christine Hunter. Diana Kitchler. James Kim. Prameet Kumar. Chemang Lama. Bradford Laban. Absent. Sheila Lewandowski.
Bradford Lieben, present online.
Oh, present online, thank you. Sheila Lewandowski. Great, thank you. Benjamin Lucas. Great. Patrick Martinez. Excused. Eric Narberg. All right. Andy Olivares. Absent. Riley Owens. Jolly Patel. Randy Plumell. Come back to him. Pia Raman. Maya Saab. Excused. Norberto Saldana. Alyssa Sawicki. Excused. Okay. Fujelson Sherpa.
Present online.
All right. Ryan Smith, I am here. Caroline Spitzer. Excused. Yeah. Lauren Springer. Akello Thomas. Absent. Amoris Valdez. Elena Van Sluten. Letitia Vasquez. And Michael Zurab. And we have a quorum coming back to Mohammed Hossein. Nope. And Randy Plumell? No? All right.
Thank you, everyone, for the patience. All right, next 10 names. Gibran Ali, Jordan Hare, Lou Vanek, is it Vanich, Christine? Vanich, okay, Lou Vanich, Francis Shields, Taiki Sugita, Jubair Salim, Raihan Hassan, Sayyida Jannatul Firdos, Nita Kwak, and Abdul Salim. Starting with Gibran Ali, please. A minute starting in 3, 2.
Hello, I'm Gibran Ali. I am a resident of Long Island City for the last few years. I think the One LIC program will definitely be a great asset for LIC. It's going to bring more housing. More importantly, it's going to bring more schools. It's going to improve the services in the neighborhood. It's going to improve the plumbing, the electrical. All these services need improvement, and this project will definitely help that. I deal with hundreds and thousands of LIC and Sunnyside people every day, every year, and you know, the school thing is definitely a big thing. Obviously, I want to have a family at some point too. I'd love for my child to be able to get a seat in the school, and I'm sure so would you. Also, I'm with the best brokerage in.
Thank you. Jordan Hare, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
My name is Jordan Hare, and I work at Plaxall. Thank you for the opportunity to provide comments to Community Board 2 on the LIC Neighborhood Plan. We believe this plan offers a clear path forward to achieving a stronger and more inclusive LIC. We encourage the Community Board to vote in favor of the LIC Neighborhood Plan, which would deliver tangible resiliency measures at our Annabelle Basin sites. The LIC Neighborhood Plan would deliver vital flood protection measures at Annabelle Basin and Points North. The Waterfront Access Plan will raise the shoreline at the water's edge. In line with DOB requirements, upland areas and building entrances will be elevated to 14 feet. The city's proposed mapping actions will also meaningfully raise the grades of 44th Drive, 5th Street, and 45th Avenue. Taken together, these measures will deliver significant new protections for both the waterfront and inland areas from the threat of sea level rise. The LIC neighborhood plan will improve stormwater management in the area, reduce flooding from rainfall events through compliance with current regulations requiring stormwater detention and diversion of stormwater from the combined sewer system at the waterfront sites. We really appreciate all the hard work the community board's been putting in on this important initiative. Thanks again.
Thank you. Lou, finish, please. A minute starting in 3, 2.
Thanks. I'm Lou Venich from Sunnyside. The One LIC plan puts too much more of too many different things in too small an area. Here are two concerns among many. First, the DEIS itself casts doubt that the streets and curbsides can safely absorb this level and mix of new development and balance the often conflicting needs of residents, workers, and businesses. It predicts dozens of clogged intersections and sidewalks with no integrated plan to manage the street network for all users. It forecasts a deficit of thousands of parking spaces that it shrugs off to nearby areas. These are flashing warning signs. The plan outstrips what the street network can handle. Second, the plan is likely to smother LIC's evolving industrial sector through the combined effects of adding so many more apartments, rezonings as likely to hurt as help industry, and new pressure on vital truck access. Please urge a plan with less housing and more regard for existing uses and unmet local needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Francis Shields, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. The stretch from Queens Plaza North to 41st Avenue has long felt desolate and disconnected, making the walk to 21st Street Queensbridge F train station feel unwelcoming and at times unsafe. As someone who works and lives in Long Island City, I know how important it is for our streets to feel vibrant and secure for everyone, families, workers, and visitors alike. The One LIC rezoning plan is our chance to change that. By prioritizing street-level activation and mixed-use development, One LIC will transform these underutilized blocks into lively, pedestrian-friendly corridors filled with active street fronts and new public spaces. This isn't about beautification, it's about creating safer, more accessible routes for thousands of people who rely on the F train and other forms of transportation every day. With thoughtful planning, we can connect Queensbridge and the rest of the LIC, turning these once isolated streets into a welcoming gateway for our entire community. Thank you.
Right on time. Taiki, a minute starting in 3, 2.
My name is Taiki Sugita, with the One LIC neighborhood plan. As a resident of LIC, I know how challenging it can be for many families here to access fresh, affordable food. Too many of our neighbors of food deserts where grocery store options are either unaffordable or simply out of reach. That's why I support the One LIC rezoning. The added 3.7 million square feet of commercial space will allow for the development of crucial infrastructure. With that said, I'm here to ask for supermarkets to be added in the rezoning district. By adding new supermarkets to our community, we're addressing a basic but crucial need, making healthy, affordable food accessible to everyone. Every family deserves the access to buy fresh produce close to home. I support the One LIC neighborhood plan. Thank you.
Hello. As a parent and resident in Long Island City, I see every day how our community is growing and how our local schools are struggling to keep up. As many families are worried about overcrowded classrooms and long wait lists, especially for our youngest learners, that's why the One LIC rezoning plan is so vital for our future. This plan directly addresses the urgent need for more elementary school seats by committing to build thousands of additional school seats as part of a broader investment in our neighborhood. My son will be going to school in LIC in a few short years, and his education is my highest priority. The One LIC plan ensures that he and every child in LIC will have a chance to grow and be successful. Vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't shuffle these names well enough. Rayhan Hassan. Oh, sorry.
Anita.
Anita, okay. A minute starting in 3, 2.
My name is Anita, and I grew up in Astoria. I have witnessed the transformation. Oh, sorry, that was just. Okay. My name is Anita. I grew up in Astoria and have witnessed the transformation of ivory towers popping up everywhere that the working class, not me or anyone I grew up with, can afford, even with Housing Connect, where you need to earn 6 figures to be eligible for so-called affordable housing. It is so offensive to the working class in need of deeply affordable housing that $2,750 in a studio for LIC is considered affordable. We're being baited with public school seats, accessibility, infrastructure upgrades, and green spaces when we should already have these things. We deserve well-funded public schools, a city that meets our accessibility needs, infrastructure upgrades, and green spaces without the catch of hyper-gentrification and displacement. We must center the needs of the working class and not developers and build deeply affordable housing. I urge you to vote no.
Thank you. Abdul Salim? All right, the names I'll go back to. Raihan Hassan, going twice. Syed Janatul Firdaus, going twice. All right. Oh, sorry. What was your name? Yeah, please. A minute starting in 3, 2.
Hi, my name is Salim. I'm almost 35 years living in Astoria. I have 3 kids. I raised them. They're all professional, and I'm helping 3 grand. So after Corona, there's so many people die, friend, community people, a family member. More than painful is there's so many, after the Corona, there's many people, friend, and especially 36 Avenue, almost 10, my friend is moved Buffalo because they cannot afford the city rent and stuff. So that's painful. But then again, when I see a brilliant program like a affordable thing, and my community people is moving to LIC, this is a brilliant thing. So I think this is good for community because community people cannot dream about that thing. So I support that one. It's more affordable, we need it. Thank you.
Okay, next 10 names. Albert Scott, Jin Han, Hanif Khan, Red Sevilla, no, Jordan, you went already. Sorry. I'm gonna delete that. Albert Scott, Jin Han, Hanif Khan, Red Sevilla, Muskan Manglik, Yusuf Khan, Sayuna Shakya, Chris Eftimiu, Stelios Hiotis, and Charles Yu. So starting with Albert Scott. Jin Han. Minute starting in 3, 2.
My name is Jin Han. Long Island City is my home. I became parents 3 months ago, and I want my child to grow up in a clean, safe, and walkable neighborhood. I believe One LIC can help make that happen. It's okay to have concern about changes, but let's focus on the facts, not fear. Please vote for yes to One LIC for safer street, better lighting, more trees, affordable housing, and better service for my family and yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Hanif Khan, minute starting in 3, 2, go for it.
I went to public school right here in Long Island City. I had amazing teachers, but our class sizes were just too huge. I know my younger cousins are going through the same thing. One LIC is a chance to fix that. It adds thousands of new seats and gives students a better chance to succeed. I support it for them and the kids coming after me. Thank you.
That's a record. Thank you. Red Sevilla, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Options 1 to 4 of MIH are a joke. They don't do enough for affordability when 70 to 90% of new housing units are at market rate. Affordability is when at least half of a new building is affordable at 40% AMI to 65% AMI, or else no rezoning. My name is Red. I'm a local pastor in Elmhurst and serve on the board of CB4. My family doesn't live in LIC. Why not? We can't afford LIC. I'm here because my daughter goes to high school in LIC. And when I ask her friends why her parents or why their parents don't live in LIC, it's the same reason. they can't afford to go to LIC. And so I urge the community board and the city council to vote no to the rezoning of LIC. Thank you.
Thank you. Muskan Malik, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. I've lived in Queens my whole life, and some of it's been good, but too many of my neighbors have been forced out because they can't afford the rent anymore. One LIC is finally a plan that includes us. With real commitments to affordable housing, we have a chance to stay and thrive. Let's build a future where the people who made this community strong can stay in it. I support the One LIC neighborhood plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Yusuf Khan, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Hello, my name's Yusuf. As a student who's been attending public schools in LIC my entire life, I've seen what overcrowded schools look like. Classrooms packed and students even forced to eat in the hallway because there isn't enough space in cafeterias. I worry about my younger siblings and cousins having to have the same experience. One LIC means more space, more teachers, and better schools for the next generation. That's a future I want to see. So I'll be voting yes for One LIC.
Thank you. Sayuna Shakya, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sayuna. I'm at the beginning of my career here in the city, and I love LIC. It's vibrant, diverse, and dynamic community, full of culture, energy, and opportunity. However, despite everything this neighborhood has to offer, finding a housing that I can actually afford has been a constant challenge. The One LIC plan offers a meaningful opportunity for people like me to stay in this neighborhood and build a future here. With affordable housing as a core part of a plan, it finally addresses the needs of everyday New Yorkers and not just the wealthy. I support One LIC because it offers hope, opportunity, and true sense of belonging, not only for myself, but for countless others who wish to live, work, and grow in Long Island City. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, afternoon.
Hi, yes, thank you. My name is Chris Eftimiou. I'm a lifelong resident of CB1 CB1, and I'd just like to express my support for the mandatory inclusionary zoning housing policies in One LIC. 40% to 80% AMI is what we need, and the One LIC footprint of these policies will ensure the very existence and long-term health of an economically diverse population in the area. I'm also concerned about the building designs. We need to have lights on the streets. I'm concerned about the canyon effect that might take place with these large buildings, but the mandatory inclusionary housing is really what's needed here. I also support the open space aspects of this plan, like using the storage space under the bridge, and also the waterfront access, super important. We need more open space. We have a lack of it in the area. And also all the safe streets policies like daylighting, protected lanes. Particularly, we need one on 23rd Street and under the train. And so we really just need all these things. It's a comprehensive plan and I support it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Stelios, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Stelios from Nest Seekers International. So I say yes to the One LIC. We need the infrastructure to be increased, the electrical, the piping, construction. This will help the small businesses as well, better schools, better infrastructure and all. So yes, I am with One LIC. And growing up in Long Island City, to see where it has been involved now, it's amazing. And I look forward for the future, and it will happen, and it will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Charles Yu, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. My name is Charles Yu. I'm the Vice President of Economic Development at the Long Island City Partnership. We support the One LIC plan as a vital step towards a more inclusive, connected, and sustainable future for Long Island City. The plan reflects many months of community engagement and addresses urgent needs, from housing in schools to resilient infrastructure and waterfront access. We specifically support the creation of 1,300 plus new school seats, new access housing and home ownership opportunities, resilient waterfront access, a transformed DOE building, improvements to sewers and drainage infrastructure. And as a neighborhood known for its creative spirit, we also hope the final plan includes a strong commitment to arts and culture by preserving and expanding space for creative uses. We encourage Community Board 2 to support the One LIC plan as well and help ensure future generations can live, work, and play in Long Island City. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Next 10, DJ Jiang, Kieran Gallagher, Ryan Vin, Tyler Baldwin, Reese Hirota, Leo Gutman, Diane Hendry, Joheb Chaudhary, Vanessa Leong, and Lauren Bennett. So starting with DJ Jiang. Yep, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Hi, I am an Astoria resident of 6 years and a social worker working with families in Queens. Every day, I see how my neighbors already cannot afford their basic needs: housing, food, transportation, childcare, healthcare, the list goes on. One LIC would build more luxury high-rises and cause the cost of living to skyrocket. Their concession, a few so-called affordable units that would still cost more than my current rent. One LIC and plans like it would put the people who make up the fabric of this neighborhood out of their homes. If that's not convincing enough, one LIC would tear families apart. Every day in my work, I witness parents getting their kids ripped away from them for things like losing their housing and being unable to afford childcare, things that are avoidable if they weren't so expensive. When you consider this plan, think of the children who will be removed from loving parents working hard to make ends meet, who will be priced out because of it. If you support parents, support children, and want to protect families, please let them stay in their homes and communities. Oppose One LIC.
Thank you. That doesn't sound like spirit fingers. That sounds. Kieran Gallagher, a minute starting in 3, 2.
I'm Kieran Gallagher. I'm a 10-year resident of Sunnyside. I'm Irish, despite the London accent. My wife's Bangladeshi. We just got married. We're hoping to raise our family here, where both our cultures have a center. But we are very worried about being priced out. We are in a housing crisis. Now, if you were in a food crisis, the first thing you would do is make sure you hadn't made it illegal to plant food. If you were in a water crisis, the first thing you would do is make sure you hadn't made it illegal to dig a well. Why have we made it illegal to build housing? The only people who profit from this are landlords, and we need to lift these landlord limits, which One LIC is a great step towards doing, so that we can have more housing and more affordability in our neighborhoods. You know, people will say that this is new housing, luxury housing, but there is a large mandatory inclusionary element. On top of that, if you are concerned about the price of affordable cars, the last thing you would do is ban all new cars being sold because that's a luxury for the rich. The price of a 10-year-old Corolla would go for the roof. That's the situation we are in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kieran. Ryan Vin, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Community Board 2. I think it's important to remember that those of us who oppose this program are not saying that we should have no development. We are simply asking for affordability to be the priority of new housing. Mandatory inclusionary housing is the bare minimum action that can be taken towards affordability. Others keep repeating the point that this is simply a matter of supply and demand, and that increasing the supply will bring down rental prices for everyone. What people neglect to mention is that this doesn't mean prices will be reduced drastically. It only means that prices won't rise as quickly as they would have in a world without more development in the best case, and even that is subject to debate. There is always the potential for induced demand. In the same way that more highway lanes can end up increasing traffic, building luxury housing can attract more people that would have not lived here in the first place, driving prices up. Even slowing the rise in prices alone isn't enough to ensure affordability. We already know that the majority of New Yorkers pay more than a third of their incomes on rent currently. We need to dream bigger and make affordability the immediate priority. Vote no on One LIC because it does not make affordability a central focus of this rezoning.
Thank you, Ryan. Tyler Baldwin, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I am Tyler Baldwin and I live in Astoria. I am very thankful that I live in a rent-stabilized unit in this neighborhood and I would love to raise a family here. The problem is that this neighborhood is just way too affordable and the only way to bring down prices is to increase supply. If you think of it through a supply and demand, like in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, where the supply of housing, including luxury rent, has skyrocketed. But when you look and compare it to the rest of the country, Tyson's Corner has some of the lowest rent growth in the country. Building supply is the only way to solve this housing crisis. And without new housing, all of you will be priced out eventually. This is not a question of when will it happen, it will be happening of when. Thank you.
Thank you. Leo Gutman. Wait, sorry, Reese Hirota, are you on Zoom? I will come back to you. Oh, sorry, yep, go for it. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, you got a minute.
How long do I have?
Minute starting in
A minute and
3,
5 seconds?
2, 1.
All right, I grew up around rich white people, and I can tell you that one LIC is gonna profit them. This is white supremacy, and that is all. They're trying to price black people right out, people of color right out of the neighborhood. That's all it is, cut and dry. They want rich people, white people living in there, and they want everyone else going to prison or working on plantations, and that is all. That's it. It's white supremacy. Vote no, or you are a white supremacist.
Thank you. Leo Gutman, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leo Gutman. I am a Long Island City resident. I live in Court Square. And I'm here to speak in favor of One LIC. The city is facing a housing crisis. The region is. And this is a step that the neighborhood can take to lead in making a dent into the huge deficit in housing we have, while at the same time providing a lot of neighborhood investment that's sorely needed on school seats, waterfront access, resiliency. Doing it this way as like a large neighborhood plan, as like the council member had the foresight to do, is the way to make sure we get all that investment we need along with the housing that we really desperately need. And so I'm feeling some relief to be towards the end of giving comments for 18 months on this. And I urge the board to vote yes for this badly needed development plan.
Thank you. Diane Hendry, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Say no until the rezoning is truly community designed. No until government makes mandatory that new construction be net zero. No unless the waterfront is R8. No until the parking lot west of the Board of Ed becomes open space and extends into the water for habitat restoration. No until a pedestrian bridge links both sides of the Annabelle Basin. No until absorbable sidewalks are mandatory. No until DCP uses green walls and makes all this zoning use them because they say there's going to be pollution. No until the IBZ portion is tied to affordable workspace and artist lived workspace. Say no until protections and legal developer agreements are policy. Say no until those displaced are found new spaces at their current rents. No until the Board of Ed becomes a land trust or an abundant group of much needed community spaces such as a Native American Culture and Climate Change Education Center, rooftop gardening, youth and senior citizens, and spaces for artists. Christine Hunter, your proposal for open space at public land is really wonderful. I just wanted to say that.
Here, here. Joheb Chaudhry, a minute starting in 3.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today is the day of Yawm al-Arafah. Tomorrow is Eid. So Eid Mubarak, everyone. This is to about 2 billion people around the world who are celebrating Eid tomorrow. So I'm fasting today, and in my day of fasting, I am urging all of you to support the One LIC project, because I've mentioned to you in my last testimony, 20 years ago, I was kicked out of my, not kicked out, but I had to move to another neighborhood, which looked nothing like Astoria. I used to be so happy watching my mother, where we used to live, 3058 34th Street, go to the corner store on 33rd Street. And she was so happy just walking the neighborhood freely and could shop with her bag and go upstairs. But she couldn't do that when we moved to Harlem. And my little two little ones, twins, born in 2003, we couldn't be in this neighborhood anymore either. And we were in Harlem, here. Look, it looked nothing like us. Bring me back to Astoria and let us all prosper together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Vanessa Leon? Starting in 3, 2, 1.
My name is actually Joanna Levinger, but Vanessa gave me her time to speak. I just wanted to point out, first of all, vote no on the current LIC plan. There were 6 million applicants for the 10,000 affordable units that were open in the city. And the last thing that these predatory developers care about is community. So building community and building community lies in residents and families being able to stay in their homes in rent-stabilized units, building schools, building more green space, planting trees. This plan does not have enough. This plan reeks of concrete, sky-high buildings made of glass, and heating up the neighborhood to unlivable temperatures, and $7,000 a month apartments that are not affordable. The only businesses that will be able to afford to move in are big box stores. You want grocery stores where people can afford food. They will not be able to afford rent inside these buildings. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren Bennett, are you on Zoom? Lauren Bennett going twice. All right, next 10 names. Missy Berry, Patrick Sullivan, Jenny Dubnow, Alex Armlovich, Dinique Martinez, Kurum Khurshid, Andrea Mungo, Paula Kirby, Memo Salazar, Monalina Binni. Yeah, okay, so Missy Berry, yeah, go ahead. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
So please say no to one LIC. It's reckless. Let's be clear. We're here today to demand responsible development. One LIC proposes unlimited towers in a flood zone. Do we remember climate change? It is waterfront. We're giving away public waterfront land to private developers with minimal community return. In the plan, LIC, which is already 49th out of 50 communities for green space, becomes less, so our green space lowers. And we have infrastructure strain on all of our services, and it ignores the serious climate threats we face today. Yes, you say you can build it up, but where does the water go? Who was here in Hurricane Sandy when the water went to all of the upland communities? Meanwhile, the Vision Plan for Resiliency, which has been created by the community with expert guidance, does exist. We can't afford false choices between housing and everything else. Vote no to one LIC.
Thank you. Patrick Sullivan, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
I'm glad to be coming up here late. Don't have to debate the specifics of LIC 1, but I will say that based on basic economics, the longer we kick the can down the road, the more expensive construction of any housing will be. That combined with regulation that is increasing the costs through labor costs will mean that with every successive revote and the more time that passes, the ultimate housing that everyone hopes gets built costs more to build, which means that the developers, the people that everybody wants to boo, will need to charge more for it to make economic sense. What will happen in the end is that if too much time passes, no housing will be built. And if that's the alternative that everyone is looking for, then that is exactly what you'll get.
Thank you. Spirit fingers. Jenny, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
The city is mandated to study the displacement and environmental impacts of any city-led rezoning plan. What really troubles me more than so many other things that everyone has already mentioned is the fact that the displacement that is going to come like a tsunami wave to LIC has been dismissed by our city agencies. It's not okay. There is so much data out there. You just open your eyes and walk around LIC. The small businesses are gone. They can't afford the rent. I got a 40% increase on my artist studio. There are very few artists left in LIC. The average income has skyrocketed in LIC. The rents are not affordable. Can a kid growing up in Queensbridge, who is now an adult, afford one MIH unit? No, they can't. We should not vote yes on such a shoddy plan. There is no looking at the data. That we're in a flood zone, we're in a heat island, and they say that there will be no displacement. That is very shoddy, and it's very disappointing. We need better from our city officials.
Thanks, Jenny. Thank you. Alex Armlovich, are you on Zoom? All right, we'll come back to you. Danique Martinez, we'll come back to you. Kurum Khurshid, we'll come back to you. Andrea Mungo, Paula Kirby, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Paula Kirby, and I work at Plaxall, a family business which my grandfather started in the early 1940s here in Long Island City. Thoughtful change can provide opportunity for so many, and I believe that is what the One LIC neighborhood plan will achieve. Here are just two of the highlights. The LIC neighborhood plan would deliver affordable apartments, over 40% more than the 3,000 units of affordable housing that will ultimately be delivered by Hunters Point South at full build. The new Waterfront Access Plan, or WAP, would integrate our Annabelle Basin sites into the LIC Waterfront Park network, helping to connect Gantry State Park to Queensbridge Park, and delivering up to 3 acres of new open space on our sites alone, with opportunities for active recreation, arts and culture, and much more. One LIC provides a real opportunity to positively shape the future of our neighborhood. I strongly urge the community board to vote in favor of the One LIC neighborhood plan.
Thank you. Memo. Yeah. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, okay, supply and demand, let's talk about it. So, in 1960 to today, the population of New York has basically been the same. In fact, it's gone down in the last 5 years. Supply, gone right up, especially in the last 5 years. We now have more supply than ever before. Prices going up or down? All right, now, people say, well, you know what? There's less people living in each apartment, that's why. Okay, since 1980 to today, 2.5 per household, 2.5 per household, not changed. Okay, so that's not an argument. Citywide, 1.4 vacancy rate. We have a really bad vacancy rate. Well, if you go above $2,400 apartments, all of a sudden that vacancy rate shoots up to 3.4. Couldn't even tell you what it is when it goes to the amount that it costs for LIC today. One more, so vacancies. LIC, ever since the last rezoning, we've been building. Well, let's check out how many are vacant. Out of the 8,000 vacant apartments, almost half are purely vacant. The other half are seasonal recreational. That's for rich people, pied-à-terre. So it's not a problem of supply, it's a problem of affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Monalina Binni? Yep. A minute starting in 3, 2.
Thank you for the chance to meet for talking here. I'm in complete support for the One LIC plan. We desperately need more homes and One LIC. Tenants are competing with each other for new homes. We need a housing market where landlords compete to provide quality housing. Lifting the limits on the number of homes available in West Queens will provide relief to pressured renters. Please vote for the One LIC plan. I'm part of the Bangladeshi immigrant community. My people are crammed in limited housing and often displaced. Building more housing, especially affordable housing, is not just about development, it's about dignity. It's about making sure families like mine, who came here to build better lives, can stay rooted in the communities we love. Again, please vote for the One LIC plan. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next 10 names need to dedupe a little. All right. Anthony Giordano, MD Saifur Rahman, Shibra Khan, Mateo Colon, Jay Koo, Paul Primiano, Lauren Postian, Kurum Kaiser, Grace Chung, and Shahela Azad. Starting with Anthony Giordano, are you here? Okay, great. Thank you. All right. A minute starting in, if you're going to come down a bit, a minute starting in 3, 2.
All right. Hi, I'm Anthony Giordano. I've lived in Western Queens for over 15 years now. I was inspired to be here today because I've never seen so many people in such a rush to make other people money. I believe if we let one LIC stand on its own merit, the current plan does not create a reasonable package for the community. Speaking of money, what about the money that's already there in the small businesses, small industrial light manufacturing in the area? Once that's gone, it's gone. Losing that economic base is what left my hometown of Newburgh, New York, destitute. Where's the assessment on flooding, sewers, infrastructure? What about the impact to the electrical grid, which will now need to accommodate heating and cooling much taller buildings in the area? That will ultimately fuel Con Edison rate increases for everyone. If Con Edison needs to upgrade the infrastructure, they will need to try to recoup the cost by raising rates for everyone. I urge the community board to vote no for one LIC.
Saifur Rahman, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Demde Saifur Rahman. I grew up in Dhaka, Bangladesh, one of the most crowded cities in the world, where green space was rare and public areas were often out of the reach. So when I came to Long Island City, I saw the same pressure starting to building without enough room to breathe. That's why I support the on LIC neighborhood plan. It is not just about the building, it's about balance. This plan brings more waterfront parks, walkable streets, and truly public open space for families, children, and seniors alike. Let's build a Long Island city that's open, inclusive, and built to last. Vote yes for on LIC. Thank you.
Thank you. Shubhra Khan, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. For my Muslim brothers and sisters, Eid Mubarak to all of you. Thank you. Mr. Chairperson, you could see a large Bangladeshi contingency here. And on behalf of the large Bangladeshi contingency, my brothers and sisters over here, we'd like to support one LIC. This is a combination of hundreds of families. The reason we support it is because we'd like our children to stay in the neighborhood that we grew up in. For the last 40 years, I have seen our community grow from a prayer area in the basement to multiple prayer spaces throughout Astoria and Long Island City. However, one thing is missing, that in the Hunter's Landing, in the Queens Plaza district, there is no prayer space for us. One Long Island City will allow us to build a prayer space for us, a community center, and we welcome everybody of every religion to join us there. Please support one LIC, as does the Bangladeshi community does here. Thank you, my brothers and sisters.
Thank you. Mateo Colon, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Thank you. My name is Colon, Fellow for Government Relations at the New York Building Congress, representing over 500 organizations and 250,000 skilled tradespeople and professionals committed to the growth and prosperity of our city. We strongly support the One LIC Neighborhood Plan, a comprehensive initiative that addresses Long Island City's pressing needs for affordable housing, public open spaces, and resilient infrastructure. Long Island City is at the forefront of New York City's housing challenges, with nearly half of renters spending more than 30% of their income on rent. The One LIC plan proposes the creation of approximately 14,700 new homes, including over 4,000 permanently affordable units. This is an essential step towards fixing our housing crisis while ensuring that new developments include housing for families at all income levels. The plan envisions transforming underutilized areas beneath the Queensboro Bridge and its ramps into vibrant public spaces, reconnecting the Queensbridge houses with the broader community and addressing the critical need for increased open space in the neighborhood. Additionally, simply put, the One LIC Neighborhood Plan offers a thoughtful roadmap to addressing New York's housing crisis, and we urge its approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacob, minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
So out in these streets, we're telling Trump administration loud and clear, hands off our communities. However, if you pass this rezoning, you're handing off public land to billionaire developers. We've seen how that ends. Look at the Barclays Center. They promised affordable housing, years later, promised to not deliver. We're still waiting. This rezoning is nearly twice the size of Hudson Yards. We can't afford another land giveaway wrapped in empty promises. Vote no. Instead, back a community-based plan. Like Nos Cademos in the South Bronx. They've built 100% affordable housing, green and resilient, by the people, for the people. Community Board 2, stand with the people, and your names will be remembered in history book, next to leaders like Yolanda from Los Cademos. Be remembered for courage, public land for public good, not for the billionaire developers. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Primiano on Zoom.
Thank you. I'm here on Zoom today. My name is Paul Primiano, the training director for the Cement and Concrete Workers. I've been working in the Astoria neighborhood for over 15 years. I'm just coming out tonight in support of the One LIC program. This is a cutting edge idea and project for the neighborhood. It has something for everyone. We've heard all the things it's going to bring: schools, storm surge protection, infrastructure, most importantly, affordable housing for the working class. I have so many apprentices and journey workers that come through our program and in our union. They're commuting 2 hours because they can't afford to live in the city. This is a brand new idea, a brand new project. If this works, it could be a recipe used throughout the city so we could live here again, live where we work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lauren Pastion, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
I've lived in Western Queens for the past 17 years. My first encounter with this neighborhood was in the summer of 2006 when I had an internship in LIC. There was no escalator at Court Square subway at the time, so I would exit the turnstile at the G train, walk several blocks in a desolate landscape surrounded by construction pits and scaffolding, and then swipe in again at the 7 train entrance. Fast forward to 2025. The construction pits from 2006 have since become luxury skyscrapers. More affordable housing in New York is a necessity, but the opportunity for newly built housing shouldn't be fancy, high-density buildings that may as well be expensive college dorms for young professionals, tiny residences with gyms, pools, rooftop decks. Such buildings are not sustainable long-term homes for families or people of modest means. Western Queens needs affordable housing, schools, trees, and improvements to public infrastructure that help everyone. I urge the community board to vote no on One LIC.
Thank you. Khurram Kaiser. No? All right, Grace, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
I'm a longtime Sunnyside resident, and I'm here with one burning question. Why should Community Board 2 approve a massive upzoning of public land without any protections to ensure that that public land is used for the public good? If One LIC goes through, the city will essentially greenlight and give away our public land to luxury developers. This is not the way things have to be done. Just this week, the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition was selected as a key development partner in the Kingsbridge Armory, a huge victory for the community. The community group's ownership role will ensure that this massive public site is used for public good and protects sorely needed light manufacturing space for the community. And this deal was settled before any upzoning. If the Bronx can figure out a way to protect their public land, we can do it too in Queens. And we can do it even better by demanding 100% affordable development on public land. The city has come too close to giving away our public land to Amazon and luxury developers like the Plaxels. We stopped them before, and we can do it again today. Vote no.
Thank you. Shahla Azad, are you here? All right. Did I miss anybody from the last go round? I don't remember. All right. Well, next 10 names. Elena Kelson Gonzalez, Lisa Gorin, Samson Mia, Hannah Burson, Farzam Butt, Muhammad Ali, Luis Cepeda, Qazi Doha, KNM Rabbi, and Seth Bazakas. Starting with Elena. A minute. Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. I'm Elena Quiroz Gonzalez. I live on 40th and Crescent, work at PS1, and my husband has had an art studio in the neighborhood for 15 years. Much of my life revolves around this neighborhood and art. Firstly, I want to say this one LIC plan does not do enough to address deeply affordable housing, and as we've seen with rezoning efforts in the past, it only makes it harder to live here by design. To amplify Donnelly's words last session, not a housing crisis, housing apartheid. Now, as a cultural worker at PS1, there is an opportunity to have an actual community-engaged process to receive much-needed investments. In my work at PS1, I'm interested in placekeeping, not placemaking, which is the goal of developers. You can't make a place that already exists. So how do we preserve and invest in the social fabric of this neighborhood? I've spearheaded projects that center residents and their histories, Street Vendor Project's annual gala, hiring them as caterers event, working with Queensbridge Photo Collective to tell their story of neighborhood change and gentrification. Some of them went to PS1, they're now 70 years old. Art and storytelling matters. It stands up against erasure when no one else will. PS1 is one of the few museums New Yorkers can access for free. I'm almost done, urge you to consider cultural organizations in this plan and the 200 plus cultural orgs not mentioned in the plan. It's not good enough. Thank you.
Lisa Gorin, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Gorin. I've lived here for decades. I'm with Long Island City Coalition and Hunters Point Community Coalition. Most of those here and elsewhere supporting this plan are doing so under false assumptions. They've been made to believe that it will provide critically needed open space, waterfront access, resiliency, stormwater management, infrastructure upgrades, community services, school seats, and more. In fact, it does the opposite. It severely reduces per capita open space and school seats, gives to private developers our last precious remaining public waterfront land needed for true resiliency in a community services hub at a reimagined DOE building, exacerbates flood risks by building a walkway instead of a resiliency park, connecting the two parks, demaps streets that lead to the river and need to be reopened, includes no infrastructure upgrades or flood management system. The community has also been told the only way to give housing here is through private developers getting 50 to 100 additional stories and giving back the minimum. We can do much more. We can build what we need. And this community has already created a roadmap with deep experience, and we should follow that. Thank you.
Thank you. Samson, Mia, thank you for doing spirit fingers, less disruptive. Hannah Burson, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
I said it before and I'll say it again. We deserve so much better than what is in this plan, and we demand that Community Board 2 vote no. We do not need to settle for crumbs. We are in an affordable housing crisis. It is not just any kind of housing crisis. It is an affordable housing crisis, and trickle-down housing is not a thing. I refuse to be condescended to by my neighbors. We deserve 100% affordable housing development. There was an article in the New York Times recently that of all the family shelters across the city, 1/3 of the beds are for people who are working full-time. People who make our city run cannot afford to live here, and that is a problem. So we demand better of DCP. You are filled with smart people. You have a lot of expertise. We believe in you. You can figure this out. Figure it out, how to give us 100% affordable housing, and while you're at it, public land for public good. We demand public spaces. We demand climate resilience. For any of you who are actually here during Sandy, I don't want to repeat. It is the definition of insanity to see what that was in 2012 and say, yes, more of that, please.
Thank you, Anna. Farzam Butt, Muhammad Ali, Luis, you want to zoom? All right. Luis Zapata, Ghazi Doha, KNM Rabbi, Seth Bazakis. All right, next 10. Samir Goel, Rumana Ali, Nick Leung, Jacob Stein, Warren Lim, Ashlyn McGuire, Ahara Sise, Clevis Musabeliu, I apologize, William Shu, and Abdul Hannan. Samir, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Samir Goyal. I'm the founder of a local business focused on renter financial health. a board member at MoMA PS1, and most importantly, a resident of Long Island City, a community my wife and I have considered home for years now. And because of those lenses, I strongly urge CB2 and all of you to consider cultural institutions and public spaces in the One LIC rezoning initiative. I can't underscore how important cultural MoMA PS1 are to the community and have been for the past 50 years. Even today, we see 150,000 people walk through MoMA PS1's doors every single year. This is particularly important at a time where art institutions are facing funding cuts, costs are going up, and infrastructure costs are declining. And if we're able to support this initiative, if we're able to support institutions like PS1, we can make sure they can serve our communities not only today, but tomorrow and many years into the future with more free programming for New Yorkers, more cultural spaces, and a reimagined MoMA PS1 courtyard and broader square so that's accessible, friendly, and green. Thank you for your time and have a good evening.
Thank you. Rumana Ali, Nick Leung, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm a resident of LIC, and I'm only here because I'm incredibly excited for the opportunities that come with One LIC. All the housing, all the waterfront. I walk through the neighborhood. I go to Trader Joe's. I see all the people there because it's so crowded. But I'm walking past, literally empty lots, empty warehouses. There's a graffiti all over them. And I'm wondering, how tragic is that? We shut out thousands of homes, thousands of opportunities for people to live, for people to enjoy the vibrancy that there is in One LIC. And I mean, the opportunity to develop the waterfront, that's like a once in a generation opportunity, right? Like today, I don't think I would go there. I would go to Gantry State Park, but how great would it be to extend all the renovation and all the investment that we could put into LIC? And I encourage the board to vote yes on One LIC.
Thank you. Jacob Stein, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jacob. So I want to say thank you to everyone, especially the community board. We're here once in a while for a couple issues. They're here every week or so doing a lot of these meetings. So thank you guys for your time. I'm here to say I support One LIC. I'm really excited about more housing for everybody. More market rate housing means 25% more affordable. That's extremely exciting. That's a ton of housing, thousands of units. I'm also really excited for more parks, for more schools. Thank you to the person earlier who mentioned that New York City's population has decreased. This is about Long Island City. We're at 99% capacity. We need more housing. So that's extremely exciting, the opportunity to really add thousands of more units to this area, bring in more people from all different backgrounds, and really expand this wonderful community. Thank you.
Thank you. Warren Lim? Warren Lim? Yeah, a minute. Yeah, if you want to move down. Oh, sorry, William. I'm sorry. Warren Lim, not here. Ashley McGuire. Yeah, William, go ahead. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. My name is William Zhu. I'm currently a resident at Court Square, and I'm also a lifelong Queens resident. I'm here today to support One LIC neighborhood plan because the plan brings 14,000 new apartments and over 4,000 affordable apartments. I've heard many concerns around the affordable housing component of this rezoning. I want to be helpful and informative to the community board and everyone here. MIH makes all of the affordable apartments permanently affordable. They will never go back to market rate. The income restrictions and rents are also published on HPD's website and available for everyone here, and HPD will also have oversight on all MIH developments. MIH also places all the affordable housing units in each and every new so-called luxury development. This is the complete opposite of apartheid. That being said, I truly believe that we need all the housing proposed. I've also heard people say that they should just go rezone somewhere else. And the city is doing just that. City Council just approved the large rezoning of Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, and there's also large-scale rezonings at Midtown Manhattan and Jamaica Queens going through the same exact process right now. The city needs more housing, and this proposal should not be controversial during a housing crisis. Thank you, and I really hope CB2 will vote to support this rezoning.
Thank you. Abdul Hanan. All right. People we missed. Warren Lim on Zoom. Chance. Ashley McGuire. Bahara Sisay. Clevis Musabeliu going twice. All right. I'm going to do one of the green sheets before we go back to the, just to switch it up a bit. Ed Bonfanti. Mayor Newman. Dante Edgar. Lauren Simida. Clint Okayama. Rachel Brown. Nina Young. Umar Siddiq. Is that Matt Quigley? Daniel Chan and Mohammed Rahman. So Ed Bonfanti, yeah. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I've lived in Queens for over 10 years. Rent continues to go up every single year. I know so many people that want to leave Queens just because of how unaffordable it is. Bringing in 50+ blocks of luxury towers and luxury apartments will drastically worsen New York's already bad affordable housing crisis. 70 to 80% of the housing will be at market rate or higher with one LIC. Current market rate is $5,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. One LIC will raise rents and displace thousands of New Yorkers. I'm surprised to hear from speakers tonight who feel that adding 50 blocks of luxury towers and housing will have a positive impact on New York's housing crisis. I'm surprised to hear from speakers tonight who are excited about adding 1,300 classroom seats for the children of rich people who will move into this area after one LIC displaces thousands of New Yorkers due to this plan. I ask the community board to please vote against one LIC.
Thank you. Mayor Newman, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Mayor Newman. I've been here since 1971. Seen a lot of changes. Long Island City is very famous for their artists. We need their artists. We need their homes. So let's vote yes and make the artists stay here. We need them here. Let's keep him. Thank you.
Now that's the record, 20 seconds. Thank you. Dante Edgar, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
My name is Stephen Edgar. I'm here to speak for my son Dante, who's not able to be here. He and his brother both attended PS 78. We've been renting in a 2-family house since 1990. One of the main attractions to this neighborhood is the mixture of residential, commercial, and light industry. Can't forget about the artists, of course. We quite like the mixture of lofts, single-family homes, 2-family, and multifamily. The proposed high-rises are too tall. They will block the sun and throw shadows over the whole neighborhood. Although there are some good ideas in the plan, I'm afraid that the proposed zoning changes will tilt density for the worst. Thousands and thousands of people in their cars. Noise pollution and air pollution are real concerns. Traffic is getting more congested every day. Bicycles competing for the same space. Pedestrian safety will be threatened as well. Public transportation already struggles. Subways are getting crowded and only get more crowded with thousands of new arrivals. We urge you to vote no on the plan. It's too much too fast. Go back to the drawing board.
Thank you. Lauren, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening and Eid Mubarak to my Muslim siblings. I am an Astoria resident, and if I would just be an artist, but instead I've had to work a minimum of 2 jobs in order to be able to keep living in New York. I have lived in New York now for 17 years, and in that time I've seen more and more neighborhoods overtaken by developments that promise some level of affordability, but then prioritize luxury developments that push out deeply rooted families and New Yorkers. We need a plan that takes our displacement concern seriously. We need affordability for all working class New Yorkers. We deserve a rezoning plan centering our needs, not using them as a bargaining chip to enable luxury developers to profit off of our neighborhoods. We deserve a plan that puts people and public good first. I urge you to vote no on one LIC.
Thank you. Clint Okayama, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody. My name is Clint Okayama, and I'm a resident of Astoria and an affordable housing provider. Vote no to the current one LIC proposal. Any rezoning that allows for a majority of market rate units increases prices because it will increase the area median income, and area median income is what citywide affordable housing is based on. This rezoning needs income restrictions to keep housing costs at their current rate. Over 50% of newly allowed units should be affordable to current 100% AMI levels. Otherwise, this rezoning will not only reduce affordability, but will increase prices and cause displacement. Again, any rezoning that allows for a majority of market rate units increases prices because it will increase the area median income. Unless there are more deeply affordable units with income restrictions, vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel Brown, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm a CB1 resident here to urge CB2 to vote no. When I testified at the joint hearing 2 weeks ago, I spoke about the need for affordable commercial spaces and the need to protect the public land in LIC from for-profit developers. Tonight, I want to stress that this plan puts profit over people, the rich over the poor and working class. And because of racial disparities, white and Asians over Black and Latino neighbors. The Racial Equity Report in the One LIC plan says that this area has a higher displacement risk. DCP should be ashamed of themselves for trying to push this destructive plan through under the guise of community planning. I went to those participatory planning sessions. They were rigged towards what developers wanted from the beginning. Don't believe the lies. There are no substantial infrastructure or services in this plan that residents need.
Thank you.
Not even to mention the renderings. Towers almost as tall as the Twin Towers. Vote no.
Thank you. Ina Young, a minute starting in 3, 2.
Today, I remind us of the Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct published by the American Institute of Certified Planners. People who participate in the planning process should create plans that ensure equitable access to resources and opportunities, which in turn structure prospects for upward economic mobility, a sense of belonging, and an enhanced quality of life. We must recognize our unique responsibility to eliminate historic patterns of inequity tied to planning decisions represented in documents such as zoning ordinances and land use plans. The LIC plan does not adhere to these codes and standards. We have a special responsibility to plan with those who have been marginalized or disadvantaged and to promote racial and economic equity. We have the responsibility to urge the alteration of policies, institutions, and decisions that do not help meet their needs. What this plan is same old, same old. Vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. Umar Siddiq, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Time LIC time. As a long time LIC resident, I see how poor nutrition affect families across LIC, especially in underserved area. Lack of access affordable fresh foods leads preventable health issues. One LIC has potential to bring supermarkets into food desert and make healthy eating possible again. I support this plan because it's invest in our well-being from the ground up.
Thank you. Matt Quigley, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
I apologize for repeating this a little bit from last time, but I screwed it. When we have a bunch of apartments, in Long Island City on Vernon Boulevard. They're ordinary apartments. And when Queens West was developed, a bunch of our tenants moved there, and then we had to reduce our rents for the tenants on Vernon Boulevard. And that's kind of the way it's supposed to work. So you have older units that get to be more affordable. You have luxury stuff that's, who cares? But we need to build more housing. It's so important. So please don't stop it. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel Chan. Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I've been a resident in the project area for 7 years, as well as a leader in a nonprofit community biology lab called Biotech Without Borders that we relocated here because of the great transit options and the relatively low rents for small nonprofit. I've come to understand that the rezoning can't guarantee community needs, so I wonder why the city is focused on such a wide-reaching single action like rezoning instead of focusing on investing in projects that explicitly expand affordable housing or the associated infrastructure, transit, sewers, mitigating flood risk and open space that's required for folks to live comfortably. I'm particularly concerned why the public sites are being lumped in with the private sites because the city has an opportunity to enter in agreements to ensure that these sites are being used more responsibly without having to rezone them first. And I think that the promise of affordable housing is being used to coerce us into saying yes to a sweeping rezoning that will keep the economic wheels of real estate, especially speculative real estate, very well greased. So I urge the community board to vote no to this rezoning, to give LIC time to adapt to the large changes that are already at play in our neighborhood, and invite the city to find a better way to serve it as residents, such as engaging more deeply with community-led planning efforts.
Thank you. All right, next few names. Jane Menton, Francis Menton, Joanna Levinger, Bella Rabinovich, Asher Wirtz, June G, Rena Grossman, Elizabeth Aceituno, Donnelly, if you're still here, Tom Lee, and I'll just finish the list. K.A. Is it Alamane? Nandor and Diane Kokoros. Jane. Nope. Leticia, feel free to go down the list and see who's there and send the next person up. Oh, okay, you went already, great.
Asher.
A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Asher. I've lived here. We've heard so many reasons to vote no. You know to vote no. I don't need to say it. Developers who are in the room, you can come back with a plan that has affordable housing. Don't be assholes about it. You just do it. Like, you'd have it tomorrow if you came back with the plan, if you include the community stuff. I don't know why this is an argument. Everybody wants to see the stuff built there. Just come up with a plan that includes the things they want. It's easy. Thank you.
Thank you. June G. Not here. Rena Grossman. Elizabeth Aceituno. Right. A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'd like to urge the community board to vote no on one LIC. This plan has been presented as a choice between more housing, a small percentage of which is considered affordable, and no housing. It is in fact just an upzoning plan that will benefit developers, bring high-end retail, without guaranteeing the necessary infrastructure, public spaces, climate resilience, and of course affordable housing that the community in LIC needs and deserves. As others have said, approving one LIC would shortchange our community by not demanding a stronger true development plan like the ones that have been presented by community organizations like the Western Queens Community Land Trust and the LIC Coalition. Members of the CB2, please listen to the community members and vote no on one LIC and demand a better plan.
Thank you. Rena Grossman? A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Rena Grossman. I'm a CB1 resident. I urge you to vote no on the current plan. I'm a Queens native and I've lived in Western Queens for 18 years. I'm a land steward in CB2 and I work at LaGuardia Community College. I lived through so many of these projects that only benefit private luxury developers or the super wealthy. This is not a fresh idea. This is not a community project. Our community needs are always bargaining chips, but we know the outcomes are always the same.
We need a legal mechanism for responsible development. A plan must hold developers accountable for deeply affordable housing. We deserve so much more. We deserve 100% affordability. We deserve climate resilience. We deserve open, abundant green space. We deserve excellent education opportunities. There are actual alternatives for people that are based in equity and data. Support people, not profit.
Thank you. Sure. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that we have seen like these developments come all throughout the city, and none of them have made the rents in the area go down. The rents in the area go up and up. When a landlord builds a high-rise, affordable, it's not affordable. The higher you build, this is a construction note, the higher you build, the more per square foot it's gonna cost. And they're gonna recoup their costs somehow. These are not the type of housing we need. We need housing, everyone knows that, but we need to build affordable housing and regular housing, not luxury. Luxury is luxury for a reason, and it will never be affordable. That's why they make it luxury, and the landlord will not lower their luxury rates to affordable rates. This is 1/3 affordable that I think that's promised or so. At least 50% of New Yorkers need affordable housing. It doesn't meet the need, and you have such a gift with this land that you need to use it wisely. That's all. Thank you
so much. Donnelly, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, y'all. My name is Donnelly Rodriguez. I am a housing attorney that is defending tenants every single day from gentrification projects like One LIC. I'm a lifelong Astoria LIC resident. You might ask, Donnelly, why do you have your suit on? It's pretty hot out. I just came from housing court. I've been in housing court every day this week. And every single tenant that I speak to tells me the same thing. I've been searching for apartments all year, and I cannot find one that's affordable. I've seen countless real estate brokers. I've seen countless apartments, but I cannot afford the apartments. How many people here can afford an apartment at $3,000 a month? Show of hands. How about $4,000 a month? Show of hands. $5,000 a month? Show of hands. 75% of the units here are at that price point. It's not for us. And it disturbs me when you start talking about schools and green space, but the people in Queensbridge, Ravenswood, and Astoria houses will not be able to stay in the community to access that waterfront and the schools. So think about your neighbors and think about the people who've been in Astoria their entire lives like me. Thank you.
Do your catchphrase. All right, Tom Lee, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone. We don't need more luxury housing. Even the people speaking in support of this plan don't want these luxury buildings. They just believe the lie that this will be anything but. This plan will only benefit the developers. What we need is affordable housing and, hey, rent stabilization too. I work a full-time job, and I cannot afford those luxury housing, the luxury houses that already exist on the waterfront. And why would this be any different? Why are we willing to accept the displacement of an entire existing community? My partner works for a small business in the rezoning zone, and she will lose her job, as well as all the small business owners there, as well as all of the cultural institutions like Culture Lab and PS1, who's been here and speaking up, which is great. We need to maintain our public land for parks and for the people that exist in the community already. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane?
Diane, Kokoris.
Kokoris?
It's like you're stuttering and saying chorus.
Minute.
Hi,
starting
my
in
name
3,
is
2, 1,
Diane
go for it.
Kokoris, and I have been here since 1963. I love Queens because it is the most diverse neighborhood in the world. And I can relate to those who think that gentrification is going to make you safer. I grew up here in the 70s as a woman, and I looked a lot better because I was younger. I understand that. I get it. But that is not going to make you safer. It's going to make you, in fact, it's going to put you more at risk. What are you going to do? Climb over the homeless person to get into your Mercedes-Benz? Or watch somebody else do that? Listen, this program is trickle-down economy, and I think we all know how well that went. If you want to know about affordable rent, why don't you ask the people who live here and build communities here and look out for their neighbors? And that is the one thing I love about Queens. We are diverse and we are unified. And I realize and I respect what hook, line, and sinker you think this is going to do, but it's not. So please rethink it and come up with a better plan. One is that is sustainable for all of us. We the people, all the people.
Good. June G, yeah. A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. My name is June, and I'm here on behalf of Shine Electronics, who's based in Long Island City. I'm here to express my strong support for one LIC rezoning proposal. This plan is the result of significant community engagement and presents a thoughtful vision for making LIC a more vibrant, equitable, and sustainable neighborhood. Key aspects of the plan that we stand behind include the creation of over 1,300 new school seats to support growing families, the development of a new inclusive open spaces that are accessible to everyone, the addition of affordable family-friendly housing options, including pathways to home ownership, improve access to a resilient and welcoming waterfront, and the revitalization of the existing DOE facility to better serve local needs. Additionally, we believe it's critical to upgrade our sewer and drainage systems to keep pace with future growth and climate demands. Given the citywide shortage of affordable housing with 6 million applications of just 10,000 units last year, the urgency is real. Now's the time to take action. We urge the community boards to move this plan forward to address the needs.
Thank you. What's your name? Oh, Andrew, yes, yeah. A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
So I think this rezoning plan serves wealthy developers, landowners, and wealthy people who can afford exorbitant rent and high-priced condos. The low vacancy rates are not accurate. Building owners warehouse rent stabilized apartments, and billionaires buy and rent apartments and live in them for a short period of time. I received the email notifications from New York Housing Connect, which publicizes all the buildings that are required to offer MIH apartments, and I rarely see any 2 to 3 bedrooms for families at 30% AMI. We do not have a housing crisis, we have an affordability crisis. I am not against development, but I am for responsible and just development that truly meets the needs of low and middle income singles and families who do not have generational wealth or double incomes or very high paying jobs. I suggest using value capture for this rezoning, which will produce wealth to subsidize truly affordable housing. This has been successfully done in Vancouver. Why not set a precedent here in New York City and show our country we truly care about our residents?
Thank you. What's your name? What was your name? You're not on the list? Okay, so let's just get to the people who signed up first, please. And then, here you go. All right, next few names, Dan Miller, Demi Amidano, Autumn Middleton, Young Ching Su, David Chai, Matthew Giordano, Joseph Rondinone. Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Dan. I live in Astoria, and I urge you to support this plan. New York City used to build housing. In 1927, the year my apartment building was constructed, we built 100,000 units of housing. In the last couple of years, we've averaged 25% of that, less than 25,000 units per year. We are building less for a city that has grown. It's nuts that we have gone this far in outlawing the new housing we need. New housing helps make this city truly a sanctuary city. We need to build enough for everyone who wants to live here, whether that's immigrants coming from other countries or whether that's a parent in Texas who's worried that their trans kid will be treated like shit and wants to move to a better, more welcoming city like New York. We need to make New York a place for everyone, and that means housing for everyone.
Thank you. Then, I need to know. Okay. So, what's your name?
David.
David. Okay. Minute. 3, 2, 1.
So, I'm probably one of the last ones tonight, but I feel like what I wanted to say has already been said. The first CB meetings I've ever been to, and I feel like one thing that, both sides have in common, from what I've seen, most people at least, is everyone wants affordable housing to a certain extent. And I see passion from both sides, and that warms my heart. And now allow me to share my 2 cents. I personally am in support of One LIC, just based off of some data that I saw. The rental vacancy has gone down from 3.63% before the pandemic in 2017 to 1.4% in 2024. And everything else has already been said, but I do hope that, the city delivers on it, because I do also hear a lot of lack of trust from, everyone, which is warranted to a certain extent, but yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Matthew Giordano, Joseph Rondinone, Autumn Middleton, Young Ching Su. All right. Next few names. Tom Matuzis, Abdur Sukur, Vazan Mansi, Muhammad Khan, Nurul Islam, Christina Chase, Alessandra, I can't read the last name, Shahab Uddin, Jocelyn. All right. Mr. Matuzis, a minute starting in 3, 2.
At the January CB2 meeting, DCP stated that the Blissville section of Long Island City was not part of the plan. When pushed for an answer as to why, DCP responded, because no one wants to live in Blissville. Many of us, including myself, were very hurt by that comment and felt the comment was elitist, discriminatory, and was spoken like a true limousine liberal. However, moving to the present day, DCP did include Blissville, Census Tract 199, in the DEIS study on the effects the One Long Island City Plan would have on disadvantaged communities like Blissville. We are deeply troubled that in the same document, Chapter 26, they created an arbitrary half-mile study area to again exclude Blissville. Our concern should be especially clear, as one of the negative effects cited is the report of air quality. Where is that air pollution coming from? Blissville serves as one of 2 gateways from Brooklyn to Long Island City, and that's where the air pollution is coming from. In our opinion, amputating Blissville from any benefits not only violates the precepts of the One Long Island City Neighborhood Plan, it also violates the spirit of New York State environmental conservation law.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. What was your name? Oh, all right. Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. And Eid Mubarak to the Muslims in the room. My name is Yezin. I'm a lifelong Queens resident. I grew up in Astoria. I'm here to urge the community board to vote no on the One LIC plan. It's extremely simple. If we build a majority of luxury housing at a market rate, the cost of living will drastically increase. The Department of City Planning knows this. They're really smart. They're great urban planners. They know exactly what they're doing. It's capitulating to billionaire developers. We must demand more than crumbs. 25% affordable housing is not enough, plain and simple. We can't let billionaire developers dangle the promises of schools or improved accessibility and the absolute bare minimum to destroy our community. Over my lifetime, I've witnessed firsthand working class people being forced to leave Queens, going further and further east. I don't want to see this continue. This is an affordability crisis, and we need to build affordable housing. Not affordable housing where it's $3,500 for a studio apartment. I mean deeply affordable housing, 100% of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina, you're not testifying as a board member, right?
No,
'Cause I
definitely
gave one of my
not.
board members a hard time earlier.
Definitely
for presenting
not.
Testimony. All right.
No, I've been part of this since the day one
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I was even on the board, so.
JFAC, okay. Minutes starting in 3, 2, 1.
So I'm Christina Chase. I'm Ravenswood Resident Association Second Vice President. I'm also part of Justice for All Coalition, where we help support residents and tenants across housing spectrum, but especially within NYCHA. In my hand, I have, and online, I have almost 200 signatures against this proposal because Queensbridge and Ravenswood was left out. There's no capital investments in us. More importantly, we don't want luxury towers in our neighborhood. We deserve city investment in our neighborhood, like more green resilient space without having to sell out to private developers. We deserve more schools. That's not in this plan. We deserve more deeply affordable housing. That's not in this plan. We deserve a hospital. That's not in this plan. We deserve comprehensive investments in Queensbridge and Ravenswood. That's not in this plan. We deserve more art space and support. That's not in this plan. We deserve community space for our community members, including our Bangladeshi and Chinese, as well as Black and Latino community members. That's not in this plan either. Whatever backdoor talks may be happening, there are no deep commitments in this plan for our actual community members, especially poor and working class residents. So please, no luxury housing. We ask that you say no.
Thank you. All right, the next few names, almost there. Almost there.
Anatole, we've got one more on Zoom that you just called.
Oh, sorry.
Autumn
what was the name?
Middleton. I think you called her as part of the last group.
Oh, Joseph Frontinone? Oh,
It's Autumn
Autumn
Middleton.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Can I go? Sorry.
Yep, go for it.
Okay, sorry.
You got a minute.
Awesome. I just wanted to speak in support of this plan. I feel like I've seen a lot of research. I've been going to the meetings for a long time that just show that I don't want to be separated. I don't want to be segregated in LIC for different classes and different social classes. I feel like bridging that gap, bringing us together is the best way that we can fight against gentrification. I've seen my neighbors, people of color, people of lower social income or lower socioeconomic status, not be able to find housing. So I'm for this plan because I do want to see more affordable housing. I do believe that there will be more schools in the neighborhood, more green space for everybody, more community spaces together. I think that is the best way to bridge our gap, to bring our communities together. Right now, it feels like there's a divide in the middle. And so I just want to speak in support of this plan. Thank you to Community Board 2 for letting me speak and be here. Thank you.
All right, the next few names, the 3 Court Square residents. Josie Yai, Lena Lee, is it Tony, last name is Chen. I can't read that, but a 4th person from 3 Court Square. Right, Laura Wolf Powers. Yeah, Taylor Baker. Patrick from 47th. Sorry? Yeah. Muhammad Khan, Nurul Islam, Mary John Coley, Vishnu Reddy, and Ernie Brooks. Yeah, go for it, Laura. Laurel Powers, right? Yeah, go for it.
Yes,
minute
hi.
starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Laura, and you've heard it from others, but I just want to reiterate, this is not a schools plan, it's not a trees plan, it's not an infrastructure plan, it's not an affordable housing plan, it's not a comprehensive plan, it is an upzoning. And somebody at the last hearing made reference to the fact that all the academics, you ask any urban planning professor, they understand that if you build more market rate housing, then rents are going to go down. But I actually am an urban planner, and and I'm an urban planning professor, in fact. And I'd like to quote from an article that appeared last year in the journal Urban Studies by Minji Kim and Hyojung Lee. And I will quote from the abstract. It's called Upzoning and Gentrification, Heterogeneous Impacts of Neighborhood Level Upzoning in New York City. They say upzoning is associated with increases in housing, but housing prices also increased. Neighborhoods with intense upzoning experience gentrification more intensely, along with greater housing production, rent growth, and housing appreciation. So it's counterintuitive, but there is research that shows that an upzoning is not going to make housing more affordable.
Thank you. Mary? Giancoli? Let's go. Okay. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you. I've lived here for a long time. I work here, I'm an artist, I'm a mother. I have seen the middle school where my daughter went go from a Title I school to a not Title I, which in my view made it worse, less community oriented. So I think we have to ask ourselves, what are our values as a community? Do we value family? Do we value our neighbors? Or do we value capitalism, wealth, and greed? Because that's what this is. If they're going to build the towers higher, that's for one way of doing things. If you look at cities across the world, I think intelligent design is at the human level, where there aren't high buildings, where you can see where you're going, where people travel by foot and by bicycle. You know, more public transportation. Portland, Oregon, Pietrasanta, Italy, Oaxaca, Mexico. Why not Long Island City, New York?
Thank you. Tony Brooks, go ahead. A minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, my name's Ernie Brooks. I've lived at 44th Drive and Vernon Boulevard for more than 40 years. I've seen what's happened to our neighborhood. Some of it good, a lot of it not so good. People may have noticed what's happening in this country on the federal level, that what happens when the ultra wealthy take over? What happens to the rest of us? Do we want that same pattern to repeat itself in the community of Long Island City? Where I live, it's mostly industrial, but it's diverse. When I first moved there, the building I'm in was mostly full of artists, musicians like myself. Most of my painter friends have been forced out of their studios. The development is not good for culture, it's not good for affordability. And the last thing I'll say, and I always say it, is in the freight elevator in my building, whenever it rains, sewer rises in the elevator shaft. There should be no new building until their infrastructure is in place that supports it. They've talked about that forever. It's never come through. I suspect that people haven't read the EIS. If you read it, you'll know what's in it and what's not in it. Don't believe the glossy promotional pamphlets.
Thank you. And again, for the record, my favorite bassist from Long Island City. What was your name? Okay. Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn. I am an organizer of over a decade with Queens Neighborhoods United. Last time I was here, I was kicking Amazon out of here because what? We want our people and our community and our neighbors to stay in these neighborhoods. These are lies that we are being told. What I can share right now, and what we've heard from Jay, is that in Barclays, they tell us all these lies, right? That we're gonna get all of these things, and guess what? We didn't get shit, right? And then what did the state say? The state was like, it's okay, you don't have to pay us back all this money that we made you write into the contract or whatever, right? And so in Willits Point is that the developer, who's the developer? Who's the billionaire developer at Willits Point that's bringing the casino? Steve Cohen, super billionaire, right? You know what he did? He came and he paid people to show up to community boards like this, right? So when we see certain blocks of people moving in and out, when they're moved in certain ways, that's interesting to me. I know there's a reporter, and I reminded him, right, that in yes. Anyways, vote no, no to 1LIC.
Patrick, a minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Community Board 2, and thank you for all sticking around.
I'm a housing attorney, tenants attorney, and I litigate in Williamsburg and also in Bushwick and Greenpoint. Now I'm in Queens only. I was there when they upzoned and changed the zoning in Williamsburg, and people said, this is going to be affordable for you all. Clearly it wasn't. Have we walked over to Williamsburg lately to see whether you can get an apartment? Have you asked the long-term Latino tenants, are they still living there? How about the long-term Polish tenants who lived in Greenpoint? They're gone. They're gone because the other developers jump on it, buy buildings, and force them out because they know some sucker will pay $3,000 or $4,000. It doesn't sell. And then secondly, I want to get across. You think this is going to be affordable? You win the lottery? It's not permanent. It runs out. And what makes it worse, the petitions. I looked at a petition today. My colleague said, how can we help this tenant who's in one of these buildings? So opaque, not honest, and they don't know their rights. They don't care, these new owners. And do you think these clients can talk to their neighbors like, hey, can you support me and can we have a rent strike? Can we have a party, help pay my rent? It doesn't happen. It's not community. Because what all that does is bring in super rich who don't care about their neighbors. This is a horrible plan.
Thank you.
Don't do it.
Oh, sorry, Priscilla Stadler, did you sign up online?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
I'm a Western Queens-based artist, and I worked at LaGuardia Community College for 18 years. For 14 of those, I had a working studio at various locations in LIC. Why various locations? I had to move 6 times due to rent hikes, a flood, prices going up, and square footage going down. Finally, in 2021, I was priced out. Even as a middle-class worker with a CUNY day job, I could not make the LIC commercial rent, and I've never been able to afford to live there. I urge you to vote against the One LIC rezoning plan, which allegedly offers affordable housing, waterfront access, improved infrastructure, green space, and expanded education. All of this sounds good. No, it sounds great. The only problem is there are no tangible components to these proposed claims. It sounds good, but it's lip service. In fact, I think we can safely call it justice washing. There is not one LIC, there are many. What this profit-driven scheme misses is actual commitments to the remaining small businesses, including but not limited to artists. Yes, we are small businesses.
That's time, Priscilla.
And, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I vote, I urge you to vote no, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, last one, Vishnu. Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Vishnu Reddy from Sunnyside, and I support One LIC. In a historic housing shortage, it's unacceptable that one of the most transit-rich and high-opportunity parts of the country is warehouses and car repair shops. It's unacceptable that there is a huge vacant lot next to the Queensboro Plaza subway stop, and it's unacceptable to deny New Yorkers homes. There are real humans who are struggling to afford a home and are waiting in the lottery pool for affordable housing, and we have the responsibility to help thousands of New Yorkers by providing them with affordable, rent-stabilized homes. I also want to speak on a personal note. I'm excited to see new neighbors come here and contribute to the dynamism that makes LIC so great. Just in the past 10 years, we've gotten so many great new community spaces and cultural amenities. This area feels more alive than ever before, and that's why I love living here. And I want to continue that progress while also making sure that we have more affordable homes so people of all income levels can be my neighbor. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for sticking to 2 hours right on the dot. Yeah, I mean, and also thank you to all the Bangladeshi folks who were here and had to leave because of they had to break their fast and pray. I mean, all I'll say for now is we heard you on May 21st. We've heard you since December 2023. And even for May, we've been spending 15 additional hours in just May that none of us, get paid for. We're all volunteers. So We've been, thank you, with the working group, thanks to DCP and all of our friends from government who joined us for all those calls. Yeah, just thank you. We're gonna try our best to try our best. All right, and that's it for comment. I'm sorry, and we'll move ahead to. Did you want to make a comment? Oh, your name was on the list. Oh, you know what? Your name was on the list. We have to give Alessandra, yeah, just the 1 minute. So it's only fair. Okay, go for it. Right behind you.
Oh, I thought he had it.
Yeah, one more. Someone came back. A minute, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Long Island City is in Asthma Alley, which is Western Queens and part of Western Brooklyn. Look up Asthma Alley because it's a long history with Con Ed and industry. Also, the Newtown Creek is one of the most polluted bodies of water in the United States. It's a super fun cleanup, like the Gowanus, and it's been talked about for decades. Nothing is happening with that. And the land is extremely toxic, and we have a lot of problems. We now have what was the main park in the neighborhood. It's been closed, most of it, for over a year, with no signs posted because there are high levels of lead, of mercury, of all kinds of toxic metals, and not one sign has been posted because they don't want people to know. And every time that there's digging and building, there is airborne stuff that is traveling all over the neighborhood. Start cleaning up before you build. And no, I do not want more building.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, thank you for that. Thank you for being as respectful as possible while being passionate. That's what it's all about. So applause all around. Appreciate you all. All right, we did attendance. All right, so next is approval of minutes. I can. All right, now for the boring stuff, but fun for me. That. All right, motion to approve April and the last 2 months. So that was May and April, all at once. Steve made the motion, Warren seconded. Called a question. All in favor? Any abstentions for April or June? Let's say April or May. All right. Motion carries unanimous. Any objection? All right. Motion carries. Chairperson's report. What do I got to say? One LIC. One LIC 100% of the time until this thing is done. But I do want to give my time to, thanks for, all right. Thank you. Now we're trying to do the business part of this. So thanks so much. I'll just leave him on the side, yeah. Or just leave him. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you. That quieted down right quick. Yeah, just May 21. Thanks everybody, and thank you Debbie for helping us have doing the back office stuff that helped us get LaGuardia space. Thanks to our team over here. Yeah, that was a great town hall, and again, this was a great town hall part 2, so thank you all. And I'm going to give my time to our new treasurer, who's got a 10-minute presentation on the budget process, because otherwise, you know, we got that coming up. So are you sharing your screen? Okay. All right, go for it. Yes. Yeah, folks, please feel free to like gather out towards the back or.
Excuse me, everybody. We just listened to all of you for 2 hours. So if you're still talking, please take your conversations outside. We have another meeting to finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. That was powerful. Okay, so I wanted to go over the statement of needs process, in part because I think this process will work a lot better with your engagement and participation, and I think to kind of empower that, it would be helpful to understand how it works and kind of why we do it and what the elements are of it and so forth. So the first thing I want to talk about is just what is the statement of needs process that the community board does. So there's 3 things that we as a board need to prepare and submit to the city as part of the formal city budget process. There's a report on the top 3 pressing issues. Like, we literally choose from a list of issues, the top 3 issues in our community. The issue list is pre-populated by DCP. It's not like an organic list. There's a set of options. And because of that, DCP sort of produces a survey template that we can borrow from to get feedback from the community on exactly which of that list of issues is their priority and then submit to them. So that's the first element, is the top 3 pressing issues. There's also a narrative section for each of the top 3 pressing issues where we get to provide commentary and color about what the statement of needs is for us. And so we can also draw from input from civic groups and so on, as well as, you know, members of the public who take a survey and kind of submit written feedback as part of that. The second element of our submission to the city as part of the statement of needs is a most important issues by policy area. So there's 7 policy areas that are predefined by the city. It sort of broadly aligns with city agencies and their priorities. And so we kind of submit to the city, and they synthesize that along with other community boards in their report. The most important issue within a given policy area, so this would be like within transportation, what is our biggest policy area, for example. And similarly, we can provide some qualitative color on that and use input from the survey to help inform that. And then the third thing we submit is a prioritized list of budget expenses. So there's 2 sets of lists. There's an expense budget, which is kind of like operational asks. We want more of a, more trash pickup in a particular area or something like this. And then there's capital budget expenses, which are, larger expenses that have kind of fixed or durable element to them over several years. So this would be something like a new school or something like this, or substantial sewage infrastructure sort of improvements. So we submit a prioritized list to the city, and they're obligated by law, the Office of Management and Budget is, to respond to that request. And so this is a way for us to elevate a lot of the infrastructure and community needs that we hear about all the time and experience in our own lives with this city. So I think the way this can work most naturally is that requests flow from committee chairs taking input from the survey and from their committees, and we can kind of create a rubric to help prioritize them, and then as a budget committee kind of hash out any ties or disagreements. But obviously there will be a lot more details. I just thought it'd be helpful to know, like, what do we do as part of the budget? We submit 3 things: this top 3 pressing issues list with color and narrative, the most important 7 issues by 7 policy areas, and then the prioritized budget requests that then city agencies respond to. And the office sent an email today with the list of last year's requests and the comments that we've received so far as part of the city's budget process. This is used for, so the budget we'll submit in November of this year is actually part of fiscal year 2027. So fiscal years don't exactly track the calendar years. There's 3 moments in the budget process: a preliminary, executive, and adopted budget. And as part of each of these, we get feedback from the city about our budget requests. But I thought it was interesting to learn about the timeline. What we submit in November informs the budget cycle that begins in the subsequent May year. So who's involved? I mean, everyone's involved at some level. The public takes the survey, and community groups take the survey, and we all contribute to the ideas presented. There's another group of people kind of defined in bylaw and practice who serve on a budget committee members of the executive board and chairs of committees who more formally work on preparing these statements and who I'll need to really lean on to help create a list of requests and provide kind of the qualitative color for the different sections in the report. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. And then the final piece of this, I mean, just to give you a timeline of how I'm thinking about it, I think traditionally the board has met, or rather the committee has met like 6 or so times over the summer and kind of talked about every request. And I wonder if we can't kind of have a little bit more systematic process. So this is kind of how I sketched it out, where we distribute the survey starting in the end of the month. And I need help. I have compiled a list of community groups and sort of social media sites and so on, groups that are associated with our area. But I'd love to really work, please come to me afterwards if you can, or reach me by email with any kind of points of contact or groups just to make sure we're comprehensive. And also obviously help when we do start, just submit it, to your own networks. And I think that will give us both a really clean way to answer the top 3 needs and the top 7 issue areas, because we will quite actually just have feedback from people who take the survey that we can use to rank the proposals. And then in August, I will sort of look at the results and kind of try to put a little report together that I can circulate with the committee. And based on that, I will take a stab at revising the statement of needs, which I'll also kind of circulate to the budget committee. And then in September, I think the budget committee will have to meet for 1 or 2 times to review the revised statement of needs and start putting together a list of requests. I've kind of sketched together a rubric we can use to rank order requests based on what committees rank as their top priorities, and based on some other factors, like does this relate to the top issue identified in our survey or relate to one of the top issue areas of the 7 in our survey? Do you have a community group sponsoring? Then we might rank it a little higher. So like a criteria to make it a little reproducible, but there's probably going to be some ties where we'll need to like talk it out. So I think that'll be helpful. And then in October, meet 1 or 2 times as needed to finalize the request. And then November 6th is when we vote on this. We hold a public hearing and vote, and then we'll be done. So just wrapping up here, just like concrete ways you can help: survey outreach. We have a survey. I did a little bit of cleanup, but it's kind of the same as it's been. Identifying, and I put a list together of groups and venues we can reach out to. I'd love your help though, just to identify groups and also just to be the people reaching out. I think it's a bit weird if I like post in 7 Facebook groups, like gets a little strange. So I think it would make more sense for people who are more naturally connected to certain communities. Like I live in Sunnyside. If I'm posting like all the LIC groups, that seems a bit weird. So to kind of make it a more organic outreach. Also just generating ideas, like you should take the surveys and submit budget requests, look at what we've done historically. I'll also circulate everything to committee chairs so that they can get all the requests that are kind of submitted that were relevant to them, and they can sort of sift through them and see what's useful. And then for committee chairs, obviously we'll have to play a pretty major role generating the ideas and coming to the budget committee meeting to finalize things. So that's it. I have a list of like resources that I'd love to be able to share to people, because I spent quite a lot of time figuring out what this process was, and I think if I had to start again, I would do it a lot faster if I had this list. So I'd love to lower the cost for future people. But yeah, would love to work with all of you on this and look forward to it. Thanks.
When we talk about setting all this up for 2027 and beyond, this is a great start. So thank you, Michael. This is a great foundation right here. And we gotta at least, whatchamacallit, get at least 200 respondents or more. Yeah. Let's do it.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
So should we try to, in our June committee meetings, if we still have them, ask for budget things from our committees? Or are people gonna have a chance in September?
Yeah, I think if you can in June, the way I'm thinking about the calendar is September. I would prefer that, thank you for asking this, this really clarifies things. For September meeting to be like strongly emphasizing this, and have the budget committee meetings be later in September, like last 2 weeks. That way, many of the committees will have been able to meet. And then if, we'll meet again in October if needed. But I think historically you've met in like July, and that's a really unnatural time to like get feedback from your committee since the committees don't meet over the summer. And I do think if we do the outreach in June and July, that will make the September meeting really focused and informed by the survey. So yeah, if you can in June, but I think September, think about it being largely about this. Thanks.
When we'll be circulating the survey, so for example, I'm involved in a couple of community groups. I'm obviously going to circulate it to them, but we probably should try to reach out to as many community groups. Do we have already a list somewhere that we can do outreach directly to?
Yeah, I generated a list based on what the community board maintains, but I'm sure it's incomplete. And so I'd love to make it as broad and wide as possible. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to find my email. And so if you can just reach out to me with groups, I think that'd be really helpful. And yeah.
Quickly, so we'll make sure to CC the CB2 office when we reach out to you, of course.
Yeah.
But then survey information or results come back. Can you just give a quick overview of how that's going to be organized, gathered, and then kind of analyzed and shared with us so that we can be focused in September?
Yeah, this is what I'm planning to do in August. I think people might have more fun things to do in August, but that's my plan for August. So I don't know. I have some experience doing this kind of thing, so I'll do like, I'll write a report and also just kind of like share the raw results. And then also I'm planning to take the qualitative results, like the statements that people write, and circulate them to folks like on the relevant committees. So I don't have a clear idea in my head of exactly what that will look like, but I will definitely write a report and circulate with you all with like the raw results and then kind of some commentary.
Just want to add for you is that to consider doing that all within the community board's vault or whatever, because there is a FOIA thing, all this work that you will do, making sure that it's not in your personal stuff. So just if you guys can coordinate that.
We have a process for that. As long as Debbie gets the final for the records, we're good.
Yes, compliance. We have a culture of compliance on community board too.
So I just want to share a couple things. What? I just want to share a couple. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, first of all, Michael, having been through this a few cycles, I have to say I'm so impressed with all the work that you've put into it. This is going to be, transformative, I think, and I really do mean that. I hope you'll upload. I hope you'll upload the last part of the presentation so we can get those references and check that out. It makes sense from what Carlos said, because if the committees that meet late in the month will meet late in the month in September. So those, like starting right now, those that are yet to meet, if they can start to address this possibly, and then that just makes sense. But anyway, thanks so much.
And yeah, I think I'll circulate the PowerPoint, but also like the list of groups I have so that you can be like, hey, it's missing all these other groups that you need to add. And also if you can indicate like, hey, I'm gonna post in the Court Square Facebook group or whatever, that would also be helpful because I don't want to join all these groups and then spam them. And yeah, if you would love to, that would be fantastic if we could do other kinds of outreach too. But yeah, plus like I have some notes on how I think we can kind of score requests, and I'd love to get feedback on that as well. So I'll just circulate everything. Lisa.
Just have to say, I did this for many years, and one thing that's really interesting, I don't know if you've done this, is to read the budgets from other community boards Manhattan and Brooklyn. It's really interesting to read others' narratives, and you get like themes and trends going on. So that's I suggest. And then secondly, I just want to underscore for everybody in the room, from time to time, like when it rolls up into the borough president's budget, like they really do come back to us and ask us sometimes, did you put that park in your budget request? Because, you know, the Parks Department wants to fund it. And it just helps them to reinforce, you know, kind of what they're going to put in their budget request. So it really is not insignificant.
Thank you for that. That's makes the work feel, you know, gives a lot of energy and passion behind this kind of work. Thanks. Cool. Good night.
Thank you, thank you. All right, Debbie.
It's a long evening, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'll just give you a couple quick updates. I want to thank Mary Ann, of course, who does an amazing job. And we have Raphael now, who has really stepped up to the plate and is starting to learn. And, you know, he's been terrific. He's here 6 months, and we're very proud of him. So when you call the office and you hear him, he's very polite, and he's very nice, and he wants to be as helpful as he can. That being said, we have signed the lease for our office. We are now going to be there for the next 10 years. Finally, it's taken 4 years because of COVID, right, Lisa? I think you know the whole long process that we've been through, and different people at DCAS and the changeover, and the landlord was going to sell the building, and then he decided not to, and you know, so we all kind of fit into this whole thing. So this week we got the official word that the lease has been signed. We got a copy of it, so we're there. The next thing is they would not get us a new sign. I know Roz has been asking. See, you think I don't have a list, but I do. So we're going to work on figuring out how to get a new sign and an updated sign. City didn't give it to us, so, and the landlord didn't give it to us, so we got to figure out how that happens. I don't know how it happened originally, so we have to kind of figure it out.
Is that on? Aha, okay. Yeah, my point was, I think it's part of the community outreach and engagement. You know, people on the street, you don't even know which door to go in practically to come up to the offices there. And we really should have more visibility. That's what I've been urging, so.
Thanks, Roz. So I wanted to make sure that was known. We're still waiting. Sanitation has not gotten these decals yet. We're on top of it. But they had to order more, so I guess it's a funding. June 19th is a holiday, so the board office is closed. We had 29 complaints since May. Our top complaints were DOT potholes, PD illegally parked cars and vehicles. I want to thank the 108th precinct. They have been amazing. They heard you. They heard the parking on the sidewalks, the double parking. We are giving them lists on a regular basis, and they are going out and they are doing the enforcement. So they are really working hard for the community board. So we really appreciate that. And the next meeting, as you all know, will be here June 18th for the vote. I'll let Anatole close with that. Wishing everybody happy Father's Day, happy Pride. Congratulations to all the June graduates. And our board meeting in September is September 4th. It's the same week as Labor Day, the way the calendar falls out. So it'll be Labor Day, then Tuesday will be transportation, and Thursday will be the board meeting. So just wanted to note that. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful summer. But we're around all summer taking complaints and still fighting our fights, so.
I apologize. Yeah, no, but I was gonna have you go earlier, so.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Crawford from the Department of City Planning. We actually don't have any additional updates for you tonight, so we're all set. Thank you.
Where's our friend from Melinda Katz's office? Oh, are there any questions for DCP? Okay. I guess we could just go right down the.
I have one question for
Yes.
DCP. Do you need an ice pack?
Right down the line of committee updates, starting with, we'll get to you later on, Amaris. It's been, 15 hours of the One LIC working group. And Prameet's done a great job leading it, so first of all, round of applause for Prameet. Yeah, lots of good stuff in there, and I'll let you give an update.
Cool, thanks, Anatol. All right, so as many of you know, I headed up the CB2 One LIC working group, so I'm gonna summarize for everyone what our working group process was, so you're all familiar with it, and then I'm gonna let you know what the recommendations were, just summarize them. They're also in your inbox, so you can read them in detail. So the working group met over the course of 7 sessions throughout May, and we took a very close look at the DEIS, the Draft Environmental Impact Statement. And out of these sessions, we formulated a pretty comprehensive set of community recommendations. So each meeting focused on a major theme. We looked at zoning and development scenarios, housing affordability and displacement, infrastructure and implementation, arts and culture, public open space, community oversight, all sorts of things. The group included a pretty broad cross-section of stakeholders from CB2. It was members of the Land Use Committee and all sorts of other committees. So Anatol, thanks for putting that together. We had active participation from residents, subject matter experts, city agencies, and all the meetings were open to the public, and there was plenty of opportunity for direct engagement and follow-up. So, it was pretty open. Over the course of these sessions, we received a bunch of presentations and information from mostly DCP, but also the Department of Environmental Protection, info from Department of Transportation, Education, and lots more. We had a lot of detailed Q&A with agency staff. We actually have some Q&A documents that we'll forward to everyone with written responses from DCP, so that was super helpful. We reviewed some 3D renderings. We analyzed a lot of technical materials, including maps, zoning text, open space data. We also reviewed over 250 pieces, I believe, of written public testimony, in addition to the spoken testimony that we've heard. And through all of this, we heard both strong support from the community, but also deep concerns around affordability, displacement, infrastructure capacity, all the things that we heard tonight. So through this process, we identified a series of targeted recommendations that hopefully aim to align the rezoning's projected growth with what we want to be as the delivery of public benefits. And so the final set of recommendations, they were emailed to you earlier today, and we think, as the working group and the Land Use Committee, we think that the recommendations, they reflect both the urgency of the housing crisis that we're in, but also the need for equitable, accountable, and community-based planning. So I'll summarize these recommendations, but before I do, let me tell you about what we as CB2 are expected to do. So as you know, we're a part of the official city ULERT process, and as part of that, we're expected to make an advisory opinion. After we have a say, the plan's gonna go to the borough president and then the city council. So what does it mean for us to have a say? Usually for a simple rezoning, we usually either say yes or no, and it's pretty straightforward. That's not gonna happen with this. It's too complicated for us to just say yes or no. So we're either gonna say yes with conditions or no with conditions. And these conditions are gonna be what we want the city to change about the plan to make sure it reflects, our vision for our neighborhood. And the recommendations that you have in your inbox, these are going to be our conditions. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so let me summarize these recommendations for you now. Again, you have them in your inbox along with a one-page summary up front of what they are. So the working group and the land use committee, we have a bunch of different recs, and let me just list a few of them. On housing, we strongly support applying MIH options 1 and 3. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, so on housing, we strongly support applying MIH options 1 and 3 across the rezoning area to produce permanently affordable homes targeted to households earning 40 to 60% of area median income. So 1 and 3 give the deepest affordability out of the MIH options. And to give you just a quick sense of what rents this percent of AMI comes out to, so in NYC, monthly rent for an affordable 2-bedroom apartment at 40% AMI is $1,398, and at 60% AMI, it's at $2,097. So again, these are pretty deeply affordable rent prices for 2-bedroom apartments. We're also calling for prioritizing family-sized units, expanding access for NYCHA and voucher holders, and making sure that all city-owned sites, there's a number of them, that all of those sites are used to maximize public benefit through a combination of 100% affordable housing, schools, and open space. One of the community members, when they were speaking, referenced Christine and the plan that she had, so that's one of the things that we're including for that space. You can check out a rendering as part of their recommendations. On infrastructure, we insisted that the development be closely tied to the delivery of essential upgrades, including sewers, schools, transit, and public safety services. And we want the city to put together a public infrastructure sequencing plan to make sure that the investments are made basically in tandem with growth. And we wanted to make sure that the sequencing plan also aims to correct the, everyone knows the longstanding deficits that we've had in this community from the past rezoning, so we wanted to make sure those are addressed. We also highlighted healthcare access, including a full-service hospital with maternity care as a new priority. So that's one of the things that we included. One of the biggest deficits that we see in LIC, obviously, is open space. So for open space, we emphasize the need for a usable, inclusive waterfront, as well as expanded inland park. And we specifically asked for a 2-acre park in Court Square, which is missing a lot of open space. On zoning, we recommended changes to reduce base densities in key areas. The hope was that by reducing the base zoning, developers would make public benefit choices to get the bonuses to get the additional zoning. Christine, go ahead. You have a comment.
Just to amplify that or explain that comment a little more fully, the idea is not to propose a reduction in the proposed number of units, but also to avoid, right now there are the bonus provision, the only way we would get any open space in this plan is through these bonus provisions, which would actually increase the number of units, thereby worsening the public space deficit, open space deficit. So we want to get to the target that's already in the plan, not reduce the number of units, so we're not proposing that, but incentivize the developers to use those bonuses in order to get the open space that we desperately need. Is that clear?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay.
And the last thing on zoning, we propose to eliminate the unlimited height provisions to preserve some semblance of neighborhood scale here. We also have a suite of recommendations thanks to the Arts and Culture Committee that call for the preservation of the local arts ecosystem. So take a look at those. Those are pretty comprehensive, and thanks to Carisha and Eric for those. And then finally, we stressed the need for oversight and transparency. We thought the plan should be implemented through a formal memorandum of understanding and tracked by an oversight committee that includes members of CB2. And so with all that being said, earlier this week, the working group presented these recommendations to the Land Use Committee, and the committee voted to approve the 1LIC rezoning with the attached conditions that were distributed, just so everyone knows. So please read through these recommendations in detail. Email me or Christine or Anatole if you have any questions. Christine's already found a few minor typos and errors, so we'll make sure to get those corrected. And we'll redistribute an updated version, and then be prepared for discussion and voting on these recommendations during our June 18th meeting. Let's take some questions.
Yeah. Where are the IBC recommendations? Can you go over those?
That's a good question. We didn't have any specific IBZ recommendations. We felt that the community focused specifically on the residential areas, but Kenny, why don't we look at that one more time and, yeah.
We should probably revisit some of the prior discussions on that.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, and to clarify, we do have this time, these next 2 weeks, to enable, friendly amendments and edits to these recommendations. So if there's ideas that people have, we still have time to include some of those.
This doesn't want me to talk. Just for the formality, I am going to, at this time, move that the community board adopt the suggestions, the recommendation of the land use committee and the working group. I understand we're not going to vote on it tonight, but if we can put it formally on the record, it could be sent out. The community can see it also and understand, because having listened to hours and hours of public testimony, I am finding that for some reason people think that there should be 100% affordable housing throughout the area, even though the city-owned land is only a small piece. They should understand that we are recommending 100% affordable for city-owned property, and that we are doing what we can to try to make this as livable as possible. I would like the community and everybody to know the efforts that your group has made. I have read the DIS. I don't agree completely with everything you've done. There is room for some amendments, which we can make in the next few weeks. That's why I want to put it formally on the floor now. It can be motioned to table later, but we can now start the discussion and finish it on the 16th.
Is there a second? All right. Discussion. Leticia, yeah, go for it. Leticia, then Christine, then Sheila.
Oh, I was just gonna say absolutely not, because they shared this today. The public hasn't had a chance to review it, and I would feel much more comfortable if I at least got the anti or the pro one LIC people to be like, this sucks or this is great. So no, absolutely not.
Christine.
I'm concerned that it's premature to release this, and it's not fair to board members who haven't been, who weren't on the working group or aren't on the land use committee, because there may be really substantive, and particularly, I mean, Lisa asked a really good question about the IBZ, which I think is, is a gap in the recommendations, and I think we need to give the process, give everybody a chance to absorb what the recommendations are and suggest amendments or additions before we release anything or represent what we're recommending to the public.
Sheila. Diana first.
Yeah, just, oh, do you want? Yeah, I just want to agree, and I personally feel remiss for not pushing the IBZ issues.
Yeah, that's totally our bad. I don't know how we missed that, because we had a bunch of recommendations. So
we've all been a little busy, so yeah, but so I think it's totally premature at this point.
I agree. I think that there are a lot of affordable amendments that we can add to this, especially based on what we've heard from the public comment, and as well as after the land use committee meeting, I provided some suggestions to Anatole and Pramit, and so I'd like to add those as well for everyone's review, just so that we can really add more affordability to this proposal and really strengthen our recommendations further.
may fall in line with what Kenny's saying with the IBZ. From the very beginning, there's been talk about context area, and another context area shrunk over the duration of this one LIC. So personally, I would like to know that that area is defined. What is that radius? Because they shrunk it to, I think, half a mile, which a lot of areas like myself and Ravenswood and other parts of Dutch Skills is not involved. And if there is involvement with capital investments in context areas, what areas are those and what are those investments or potential investments? And I would like to see, along with the IBZ, the context area to be addressed in this plan if possible. Thank you.
Stephen, can I just ask you what the functional difference is between?
Yeah, first of all, I'm happy when I finish talking to withdraw the motion so that it doesn't become public. That's not what I'm most interested in. What I wanted to bring up is what's going on right now. We've got so far 10 different, at least, amendments coming forth. The meeting on the 16th, we cannot have 16 amendments coming from the floor. It's not going to work. They have done a lot of work in making this. They've made mistakes. They admit they've left stuff out. We've got a couple of weeks now to make sure that their next report has all of these things in it, because otherwise we're going to be talking all night long. I mean, I want to see a specific thing for the arts. I want to see a specific thing for the schools. I want to see some, I mean, I've got myself 5, 6 amendments, and I don't want to sit here at the next meeting and make 5 different motions on 5 different amendments, having 5 different seconds, having 5 discussions over these amendments. I am begging you to respect the work that's been done. If you've got things that are really important, try to either get them to them quickly, or hold your comments for the borough president's meeting, where we're all allowed to testify and where I intend to testify as to some of the things which I feel have been left out. That's the only reason I brought this, is I'm afraid of the disorder we will have. So right now, I withdraw formally my motion.
How about we do this? Why don't we give the board, let's say, a week or so, we'll come up with a deadline to get comments and proposed amendments into me and Christine and Anatole, and we'll decide which ones are friendly and we'll include, and we'll bring that forward to the board on the 18th. Yep.
Was that a motion? It didn't sound like, right? I mean, basically I was gonna say some of the same thing, is give us some deadlines, say by this date to this, but that should come from the office, like by tomorrow.
Yep.
And then the other thing is, I do think some kind of a statement opening it up about the responsibility to the entire community board, because we are speaking for this entire community board, and that does take into context Blissville or even the impact beyond, and that we are not isolating this to the people who only live in that designated area. So what we speak to has to be representative of our full community board. And I think it's important that does happen, and that we all see what these comments are, so we can decide what should be in the final draft, not that you're gonna cut them out before the June 16th meeting, because I would like to see them, as well as having only just gotten back, read this and submit my own. Is that?
Yeah, so I think we can probably show you what got in, and then as well as amendments that we left out, and then people can have the full picture.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yep. I think that's it. Thank you.
That's all.
Woo. And yeah, I'll send an email, Debbie, for you to send out tomorrow with like deadlines and stuff, official homework. Alrighty, Health and Human Services, Lauren, if you want to give an update. Do you want to stay there, or do you want to come up? Stay here. All right. The mic, please.
Okay, for our May meeting, we had a presentation by Stephen R. Jackson, who's the principal of Aviation High School. Some of you may remember they're trying to get funding for their school's cell engine power plant classroom. there had been like several letters that Senator Generis's office had gotten. So we invited the principal to come and speak, and so he told us about his school, the focus, and how they're soliciting money. They're hoping to try to raise $5 to $6 million in the next few years in order to fund this classroom. And they also invited us to take a tour of the school, so that's something that we're planning to do. And our next meeting is next Monday at 6 p.m. virtual, and we'll have John Lavin, the Director of Clinical Services for Mental Health Providers of Western Queens speaking. That's it.
At our last meeting, we had a guest speaker, Volker Deturing, who's the co-founder of the Sunnyside Book Swap. And so he talked to us about kind of what their needs are. And one of the things we were going to mention is that if anyone's interested in volunteering and has an interest in kind of book curation, that he's open to kind of receiving volunteers for that. We were seeking, but don't yet have an update on the Downtown Revitalization Initiative funding for Long Island City. So hopefully we'll have something on that by the fall. And then our next meeting is a week from Monday, a joint meeting with Land Use.
Thank you. This will be short and sweet. Our next meeting, the last one until September, is this Wednesday at 6:30 at the office. And there is a lengthy agenda, so if you want to learn about outdoor dining or liquor license coming to your area, come join us.
Go ahead, Sheila.
Hi, Danielle. I have a question. Having read the minutes from your last committee meeting, are there some votes for the people who were present that need to go forward so they can make their plans for the summer? Particularly, I'm even thinking about, like, I saw Patrick from Woodside here, maybe from Woodbines. There was a request for their outdoor dining.
I mean, we had several, actually, it wasn't a big meeting last month, but we voted at the meeting on everything that we could vote on. Actually, we even voted on more things where we didn't have stipulations. There wasn't anything coming out of that meeting that we had to follow up with. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we vote in the meeting. I mean, he should be following up at the city service meeting. I'm not sure why he came here.
Is the agenda, are applications heating up with the summer coming?
I mean, there's a lot of applications this month because we don't have, we don't meet for 2 months, right?
We're on break.
But I mean, it's a long agenda.
All right, cool. And Carlos, environment?
Only thing from last meeting is people should keep filling out the flooding Google form that I sent out. I got some submissions, but I'm gonna definitely keep it open until the end of June. I might keep it open until longer. I just feel like once it gets to fall, it doesn't rain as much. But keep filling it out. I'll let people know. I'll give people notice before I close it. And then our next meeting is, I believe it's June 26th. And we're planning on having Rebuild by Design come and present. They recently released this plan called, I think it's like Protecting Against Resiliency Through Parks or something like that. It's really cool. So if you want to come watch that, that'll be at our meeting.
Awesome. Maury, did you have an update?
We had a great small business and local economy meeting. We had 2 representatives from New York City's SBS focused on the Business Express Service Team, BEST, and they're basically a team that of consultants that any small business can reach out to this team, and they will help you navigate the city's bureaucracy, whether it's about licensing or getting reviewed as a restaurant or bar. They'll actually do mock inspections and teach you how, as a small business, to work through and get certified and do everything right before they come out. And they do all kinds of things. And they even work with a group that helps give free negotiation on leases for small businesses. And they do tons of different languages. They were great. It's going to be on updated on YouTube at some point, the meeting, so people can go look at that and follow up. Our next meeting is on the June 24th at 6 p.m. No, 5 p.m. But before I finish, do you want to talk, Evelyn? Our newest member, Evelyn, wants to talk about Sunny Pride, which is coming up.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to invite everyone to Sunny Pride. It's on Friday. It's, well, the march starts on the Arch, and then we're going to march to Lowry because, you know, Bliss is under construction right now. So yeah, everyone's invited. I also brought little flyers for everyone to take home. Thank you. The website? sunnysideshines.org? Yeah, it's sunnysideshines.org. And then once you go there, it's going to be right below. But yeah, you can also see all the programs that we have coming up on our website as well. Thank you. And there's a Queer Makers Mart too. Many of our small businesses are also participating. We try to invite everyone who is willing to come. So little highlights, like Masa Madre is doing rainbow conchas, and Curly's Bagels is working on a rainbow bagel, but you didn't hear that from me. But yeah, everyone's participating. It's gonna be fun, and yeah, let's celebrate Pride.
Sourdough rainbow bagel. Ooh. Yeah. Also, you should think about joining as your second committee if you have time to kill, because you know, city services could also use your expertise. Riley, Transpo.
Thank you very much. This is on. We had our transportation meeting 2 nights ago on Tuesday. Great meeting. Assemblymember Stephen Raga spoke to us about his automated curb enforcement bill. Just to give us details, because there were not many details available when he introduced it. Those details are that it would be stationary cameras in problem areas that would recognize and ticket things such as idling in crosswalks, parking in loading zones, parking in front of hydrants. The Assembly member recognizes that there are privacy issues loaded with setting up new cameras in the city, so that's all part of the bill. It is something that is not expected to pass this year since the budget just passed, but will probably, hopefully be next year. So if there's any comments about that the community wants to make, please talk to Assemblymember Raga. DOT, or us, you can talk to us. DOT announced that the Review Avenue Safety Improvement Project, which we call the Blissville Greenway, work was going to start pretty soon, and our man in Blissville told me it started today, that they broke ground today on that project, so that's nice. The Queensboro Bridge pedestrian lane is open for business. I've asked DOT a couple times when they are going to paint things and put up proper signage to let people know, since there's still a lot of pedestrians using the bike lane. And it's something in motion. They're working on it, I think, because it was kind of a surprise when it opened. They've just got to play catch up. To Lisa, that bus stop, 44th Street, has moved, if you haven't noticed. Queens Boulevard and 44th Street. Is it in a good place? That's not what?
Do you mean the bus stop like right here? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly where they put it, but yeah. So this is 44th Street, where they're doing the construction on the subway for the elevators because of the plastic barriers.
The seniors at Sunnyside Community Services are upset about the bus stop that's inbound, on this
Yeah.
corner. Have you heard from them?
Yeah,
heard
so
from them,
the bus stop that serves this street for people coming to Sunnyside Community Services on Queens Boulevard will be moved across 39th Street. So if you get off the bus, now you have to cross 39th Street, which is a truck route, which is kind of a very unsafe, relatively unsafe crossing. So this organization has asked that the bus stop remain where it is. We'll write to the MTA and to elected officials. The MTA has responded about the 58th Street and Roosevelt Avenue bus stop change that a lot of community members were upset about. They gave a very detailed response showing the study that they did to show why it had to move. So I'm not optimistic that when we ask for things to move back, they will, but I think the best thing we can do is keep the community talking. They have said that they're not printing any maps yet because it's still a work in progress, even though it is a final plan. Yeah. So any people who have a problem with any bus stop changes, especially because things happened very late in the process this year, just keep writing to us and to elected officials. I don't want to take too long.
And there's precedent for moving the bus stop back here, right? They've done that before. Yeah. Yeah. So if there's precedent, let's just, leverage that.
There was a meeting that I could not attend that the MTA briefed about the F and M trains swapping in our part of Queens. I don't have all the details on that. That's good news. It's from what I've seen, and I haven't seen a presentation, is that it will happen in December. It is to improve people at 63rd Street in Manhattan, and I think on Roosevelt Island, are experiencing a lot of crowding at their stops and sometimes waiting for 2 to 3 trains to go by because the F train is so crowded. So now the M train will serve them during the day. And this also improves service for both lines. That's what I've read, and that happens in December. They'll send the presentation and I'll report. And that is it. We last month we had heard from a lot of people in Hunters Point South about parking changes at 2nd Avenue and 57th Avenue, right at the bottom there of Hunters Point. 2nd Street, sorry, yeah. 2nd Street and 57th Avenue. DOT has told us on Tuesday that what they think happened is that after a long construction project, repainting happened. They call it channelization. Dash lines were repainted, which changed parking and means that people started getting ticketed for parking where they were used to parking. But DOT says that they have plans for the area, including the parking there. That's it.
Did we help, were there updates for Court Square Station, Pramit? Was there movement on? Okay. Okay, so we got a resolution with the Court Square Station entrance cleanup. Awesome.
Nice.
Cool. Alrighty. And last but not least, Tanya can be here, so I'll just read her update. The Engagement and Inclusion Committee was proud to host 2 successful tabling events this May. Oh yeah, LIC Springs, totally forgot about that. I was there too. One LIC, 100% of the time. Yeah, so we did Woodside Spring Festival. I wasn't at that one, but thank you to Eric, were you there? Who was there? Amparo was always there. Right, Patrick was always there. Yeah. Patrick was a champ at LIC Springs. I think he put like 6 hours in working the working hour tent. So that's awesome. Tanya and the committee would like to extend our sincere thanks to the board members who supported our efforts and joined us at these vibrant community services. And Saturday, July 12th will be our this year's CB2 meet and greet event. It might be Sanger Hall, or I think last year we did LIC, so we're trying to do Woodside, Sunnyside, try to bounce around the district. And also, I'm sorry? Well, yeah, okay. Debbie will try to send a calendar invite out for the meet and greet. Yeah, well, now we all know. Better, we got there together. So yeah, we'll send a calendar invite out for that. And our new member, in the spirit of engagement and inclusion, and hopefully we bring tech committee side back. With the tech committee stuff that we used to do and is still in need in the community. As an example of your expertise in that, Amauris, please give the people an update of your event at LaGuardia.
Hello. Should I get up? Yeah. So first, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Amauris Valdez, and I've been an educator for 16 years. I actually teach at Queens Technical High School, which is right around the corner. And I teach cybersecurity, cloud engineering, so AWS, and right now we're about to bring in artificial intelligence as well. So that's part of my motivation. And basically, on May 28th, we hosted a tech meetup at LaGuardia Community College. It was really packed. I showed the example of how I use AI in my field, which is education. And we had other presenters come in and showcase their product and how they leverage technology. But most importantly, it was an environment where people got to network. They got to communicate with each other. They got to share each other's information. And hopefully they get something out of it. As an example, my students, right? So that's my inspiration. A lot of my students, they have Linux background, they have AWS, they have Cisco background. But what they don't have is the resources, the connection. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do with these type of events, connecting the people that are in the field with the students who are trying to get into that field. And it was successful, and thank you, Ross, for showing up. And also, I just want to say thank you to Ebony Young, the Deputy Queens Borough President. She showed up as well, and she participated. She stayed there for a very long time, which, it was cool to see as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's bring tech committee back, too. All right. I'm going to send out a quiz also in the next 2 weeks to make sure that we actually know the top 10 things about what LIC. I think, I don't think everyone knows what MIH is. I don't think everyone knows what the actual. So I want to make sure that we all know what the facts are. So I'm going to send out a quiz. If you fail, you still can't, I wish I can't legally stop you from voting. But if you fail, you should think about this whole thing. And let's just try to make sure that we get this is fantastic quorum. Let's try to make sure we get this for June 18th. Because I know people will be traveling. I think some people just have to be on Zoom. Amauris, you're going to try to dial in from your flight from Chicago to vote on this thing. So, let's try to make it happen on the 18th. And we have homework to do. And now, motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? All right. Have a good night.